we're not going there. Yes, sir. Sky 4 and cover 5. The natives got restless and we're east side on Commerce. Yes, sir. They followed Commerce eastbound, and now we're taking 1 block north and then westbound on something. Not sure what it is. Just right off my nose, maybe. Raven 2, R44. Yes, sir.
All right, folks, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream, part of fox10phoenix.com. We are watching a live police protest taking to the streets in Dallas right now. This all coming after back-to-back days where across the country, individuals have been shot and killed by police. We don't know all the specifics to those investigations. As you can imagine, those investigations are ongoing right now.
guilty. The whole system is 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 guilty. The whole system's guilty. The whole system's guilty. The whole system is
Alright folks, now we are going to be switching gears to another live protest happening right now.
On March 3rd, 1910, a black man by the name of Albert Brooks was to be tried here at this courthouse and laws were held to us individual days. Broke into the courthouse, overtook the courtroom, and they tied a noose around his neck in that courtroom. They grabbed him out of that second floor window, and he crashed down on the very ground below. And we go to the neutral. Praise him. Along the ground where he could walk.
Okay, now folks, we are now live. Times Square, New York City. Protests.
No racist police.
other, right? We ain't going nowhere. Y'all not going nowhere. Perception that black on black and black on criminal. No justice, no peace. No racist police. 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 No hands up! No hands up! Don't shoot! 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 Don't shoot! Hands up! 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 Don't shoot!
shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. The people united will never be defeated. 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 sleep. That's right.
Just because we on different teams, don't gotta respect. It's like, I'm gonna watch your ass on the field, but when we done, I'll shake your hand. It's like the Jets and Patriots. When we step on this field, I'm gonna bust your ass, but I'm gonna shake your hand after the game. Exactly. All right, say it simple. You just wearing a different uniform. Now, when you take that shit off, you can play. But when you got that uniform on, you can't play. See all these different nationalities, who's running out here? Who you think they out here for? You retarded. I'm 32. I'm running out the jungle. I got a house and a job. I don't know if I give a shit. Appreciate who you think is right? You think she's she out here for you. You might but you never know. But I'm saying you out here for them. We say fight back. 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 They say get 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 back. We say fight back. We 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 say fight back. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 Oh, no, that's why I want to open the door to everything we do.
No funny shit, you was really focused on
But maybe one thing I can say, we'll get through it. Maybe if you want to just do it.
we're gonna get through it.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to fight.
It is our duty to fight.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to fight.
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 It is our duty to win. It is our duty to fight.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect.
We
Hey Brian, are we going past 10? Copy.
United, we'll never be defeated. The people united, will never be defeated. The people united, will never be defeated. The people united, will never be defeated. The people united.
It don't matter. Oh shit.
No peace.
No justice, no peace. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These racist guys have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These racist guys have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These racist guys have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
These racist cops have got to go!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
These racist cops have got to go!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These racist cops have got to go! Hey, hey!
No justice, no peace. No racist police. 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 No racist police. No justice, no peace. 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 No racist police.
I'm sorry.
No racist police. No racist police. No justice, no peace.
No racist
police. No racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace. Fuck you, racist police. No justice, no peace. Fuck you, racist police. No justice, no peace. Fuck you, racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. Bystanders, no peace. Bystanders, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace. Fuck you, racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace. No racist police. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
No justice, no peace.
No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, police. No racist police. No justice, no peace. 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 No racist police. No justice, no peace.
All right, so Alex, we just watched that whole piece of video with Shauna running with the camera and you as well, right toward where everybody is running away. from that area.
That was crazy. What was that like?
You know, that was incredible. And guys, I have some information to pass along, some disturbing information. According to a uniformed Dallas police officer who just approached us, he tells us that 2 police officers have been shot. That, again, is coming from a Dallas police officer in uniform who just came up to us a couple of minutes ago asking us to move back a little further. He tells us that 2 police officers are shot. We don't know from what agency. It would seem probable that it would be from Dallas Police, since this is their jurisdiction and they were here supervising this event. And again, that coming from a uniformed Dallas police officer, that 2 officers have been shot. We do not know the condition of those police officers involved in that incident. But as you guys heard from the video you just played, and I can tell you in person from the echoing of the buildings in downtown, those shots could just be heard, just reverberating down these kind of echoed streets. And as you can imagine, hearing one shot after another, it was just sheer panic. Well, first disbelief from people not knowing if that indeed was what they thought it was, because again, the march up until this point had been very peaceful. And then again, people running from that area, from what I would imagine would be the area, like you said, they were shot, coming from Main Street near the Bank of America building. So obviously a very sad situation here. 2 police officers, from what we are told from a uniformed Dallas police officer here who has been here with the media, that 2 police officers have been shot in this very fluid incident that is gripping downtown Dallas right now, guys.
Alex, are you feeling safe right now where you are? Because we see the officers ducking behind cars. How are you guys doing?
We feel safe. Obviously, we're taking whatever precautions we need to take if we feel the need. We have been ducking down at some point, but we do feel that we're safe enough far away from the situation. We have not heard any additional gunshots within the past several minutes. But you're right, officers taking that defensive stand, which they're trained to do behind their vehicles, using their metal police cars as a shield of sorts. Some officers, as you can see, still are standing, but obviously behind their vehicles. As you saw live several minutes ago, we showed you live video of people running across the street who were kind of trapped on the sidewalk and kind of laying on the sidewalk when an officer felt it was safe enough for them to stand up and run back this way towards the park. That is what they did. Take a look over here right now, folks. A lot of people, it's kind of dark, you may not be able to see, but a lot of folks now running from behind this hill. It would seem that they were kind of hunkered down, hidden behind this hill, which is part of Below Garden Park, and I don't know if an officer now is telling them that it's finally safe to move, but this is the most, oh yeah, I see an officer here in the distance. He's moving everybody back, and it looks like he's going to come over here and move us back as well. Obviously, for safety reasons, we were going to listen to him and do what he wants us to do. People telling us, the officers telling us to move back right now, and we are going to do that. Bear with us here as we give you some live pictures of people being evacuated. Shauna and myself, we are standing behind a car right now that's kind of parked along the street here, trying to stay out of the way. You can see a Dallas police officer here trying to clear the scene. We are right in front of the federal building, and the officer asking us still to continue to move back, and we are going to do that as well. As you can see, my photographer Shauna is being talked to by the officer. Shauna, did he say anything?
He was hanging out by Lamar. He's by the Lamar intersection, Lamar and Commerce.
Talking about the shooter?
Yes.
So tell me that, Shauna, again. What did he say?
He said he was hanging out by Lamar and Commerce, and we're in this the line of sight.
Okay.
If you look right here, you can see the chopper has the video. I mean, the chopper has the light shining on this building right here.
Okay.
Looks like a parking garage or the fitness center, and that's where their focus is.
Okay. So obviously some new information that we're learning from there. You just heard from my photographer, Shauna. Shauna, watch out behind you. There's a tripod. Okay, and we are going to continue moving back as we are and do not want to be in the police officers' way as they clear this area. Again, we're being told that we may be in the line of sight or the line of fire. But again, hopefully we believe that the threat has been neutralized, as we have not heard any shots. And the officer telling us that we are safe to stay here right now. You're seeing a low-level shot because my photographer Shauna and I are ducked down behind a parked vehicle here parallel to the federal building along Commerce. We're in between the Below Garden Park and the federal building. Our vantage point's a little limited right now as a result of that, but obviously safety is of the utmost importance right now. We want to make sure that we listen to what police are saying. But Shauna, tell our viewers again what this officer told you in terms of the active scene there.
The officer told me he was active near Lamar and Commerce in that building over there.
Okay.
And so we needed to clear back. And if you looked up, you could see the police chopper circling that building and shining the light on it. So that's their focus. They're on Lamar and Commerce, or on Lamar Street between Commerce and Main.
Okay. And we were asking right now if the officers are okay. Obviously, the police officer here on scene, going by very limited information that he is receiving over the radio, he says he does not know their condition, but again stands by the information that two Dallas police officers, or I should say two officers, we do not know with what department they're with, were shot in the process of this gunfire with an unknown shooter or shooters.
Yeah, Alex, we have
Steve.
Sky 4 up, and the focus is clearly on the parking garage. Entrance blocked off, a lot of activity seeming to have Dallas Police's attention right now. Exactly what Shauna said, the parking garage is the focus of Dallas Police's attention right now.
As I can imagine, and I can tell you, from the vantage point that I have, kind of, again, kneeling down behind these cars, kind of looking through Below Garden Park back to that area we showed you earlier that was just lit up with Dallas police officers. I can tell you that it has gotten very quiet there, within the past 10 minutes or so. Hopefully that is a good sign that this situation is at least contained. For a while we had lights and sirens and officers just really converging along this point of Main Street and Commerce here at Below Park. But as of right now, it seems to have quieted down. I can tell you, I just heard on the police radio here that the officer has that the SWAT team obviously on scene and going through that parking garage right now. So obviously this is a process that police are trained for, and something that they are painstaking in their process to make sure that the officers are safe, that the public is safe, and that threat is neutralized. Because remember, at this point, we do not know who this shooter is, if it was one person or more, and what the reason was for that person opening fire and who their intended target was. I can tell you, I'm standing up here right now for a minute. Shauna, do you feel comfortable kind of panning over and showing the police presence? So again, guys, a very active scene. I would say that there is easily, from what I estimate, 40, 50 police officers just in this one area. Police cars, I should say. I can imagine that there is a lot more officers on foot. Again, there was officers on mounted patrol we saw here, officers on bikes, officers on Segways. They were here, keep in mind, they were following that march. So you had armed police officers already in place and clearly along that route where the shots began to ring out. And again, we don't know as of right now what the intended target was, but we do know, again, according to a police officer on scene who has been with the media, that 2 police officers have been shot.
Hey, Alex, let me ask you a question. And I know the protesters who organize this thing do not want to be associated with this at all, and this could be somebody from outside. We don't know who this is, but when I was there, I didn't hear any rhetoric that would have risen to this level, or did you hear any rhetoric that would have inspired this kind of thing? Or I don't know how to categorize it, but I sure didn't.
Sure. It's a good question, Steve, a fair one, I think, and I can tell you that for on the whole, no. The big kind of chant and that everybody was saying was, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. But I will tell you that at some point, different people with the bullhorn did say F the police. You did have a couple of people chime in and say F the police as well. Clearly there was that sentiment as well, but it was definitely in the minority, I can tell you, in all fairness, having been in the middle of that rally from the entire time that it started to when they took the streets and began marching. But there was a small amount of people yelling that. But I can tell you really overall, you're right, Steve, overall from what I saw and what I heard, people were really really upset and frustrated with the fact that 2 more black men have died as a result of police shootings that they feel were unjustified. Clearly, this is the court of public opinion. People are going to have all sorts of opinions. But people that I interviewed all, seem to really just be passionate about the fact that all lives matter. Some people, Black Lives Matter, but that really the focus of this rally was to bring people together. Remember, keep in mind, you had all a variety of racial backgrounds here. You had, white people, black people, Hispanic people here. I talked to all of them, and all of them really had the same message, which was that they felt that enough was enough, but that they, as a community, needed to have their voices heard. But nobody really tried to incite any violence towards the police, although you could say that saying F the police is obviously something that could incite that kind of sentiment. But as the march got underway, Steve, police were clear about their instructions. They asked, protesters to stay on the sidewalk. The crowd was so large, we saw from Sky 4 that obviously that didn't happen and people did spill into the streets. But it didn't seem like that there was any violence associated with any of the people marching.
And this happened, Alex, just a couple of minutes. It was all supposed to end at 9. People were seemingly kind of starting to move out and carry on with other plans for tonight until we saw them all run in that video.
You're right, Heather, you're absolutely right. This started at, 6:30, Shauna?
Yes, started at 7.
So this started at 7 o'clock, and so it was slated to go from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And so around 8:30 is when people started to march down the streets here. And again, it seemed to be very peaceful. Police were escorting them down the streets. At one point, this empty road right now, Commerce, was shut down. I actually posted a picture on Twitter showing people kind of getting out of their cars and looking to see why the road was shut down. And that was because people from the rally spilled into the streets. So police needed to block the roadway to safely get these people who were exercising their First Amendment right to walk down and peacefully protest. And Heather, you raised a good point. So we were getting ready to go live. We were standing in front of the camera probably about 8:55 at night. 8:55 p.m., obviously, a couple minutes, who knows how long ago now. It seems like it was only a couple minutes ago. And people were dispersing, as you said. We saw the march come back around past us on Main Street, headed towards the Bank of America building. And it seemed like, some people were stopping here at the park and kind of calling it a night. And then some people still continued to march down the street and again into that line of fire. And again, like we always hear on TV, people say we didn't initially think, my photographer and I, that those were gunshots. It echoed through the street. Again, it sounded like pop, 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 pop. And then it stopped. And we kind of said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And then pop, 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 pop. And then people running. And then the police presence, which, again, you see kind of the corner of what is part of a very active scene right now. So you're right. It didn't, from what I noticed here, being here in person throughout the entirety of the protests, all in all, there did not seem to be any people who were really getting the crowd going. And keep in mind that police were also in the background here. Police were staged safely back. They wanted to give, I talked to one of the media relations officers prior to the event, asking kind of about how police security was going to be here. And they told me that, their plan was to obviously be here and keep tabs on the crowd, but they purposely wanted to stay away from people to not to let them exercise, again, their First Amendment right, to let them feel that they had the freedom to express themselves and to not feel that they were being policed, to not have police kind of standing right up on them. And so they did give them a healthy distance. I will tell you that I had a hard time really noticing a police officer until I really looked in the fringes, but they were there keeping tabs. And at no point throughout the rally that I saw did they have to step in and really intervene with any kind of conflict. There was no conflict between people protesting. There was no white against black or black against black, nothing like that. People were really just listening to all of the people speaking on the bullhorns and kind of really responding. Okay, Shauna, look right here. We can see some people masked. It would appear to be SWAT officers running past the United States courthouse right now. They're followed by a couple additional SWAT officers right there. They do have their guns drawn, obviously, but they are pointed down. From my experience, kind of watching SWAT officers right now, they do seem to be a little more of a relaxed stance, considering these are highly trained SWAT police officers. Keep in mind that they are kind of they walked away from what is the scene where we heard those gunshots come from. Now you see they are headed back. I don't know why they kind of came up this way, several blocks away from where the shots were fired, but they came here briefly, spoke to a uniformed officer who you see walking with them now and kind of pushing some of the people back here. And now
it actually looked like they wanted to.
They are
Alex, it looked like they wanted to end that debate, to stop the debate between some protesters and the police officers trying to do their job. Clarice, what have you got?
Alex and Heather, this is Clarice in the newsroom as we continue to watch this video. I'm getting this information from Sean Rabb, who gets the information from Dallas police sources. One suspect is down. There is possibly a second suspect in the garage at El Centro College. The second suspect could be wearing a mask and a bulletproof vest and could be in camouflage that's either desert camo or green camouflage.
Wow. Yeah, that's very vital, important information to know right now. Take a look, a live look right now, guys. We see kind of a massive amount of people, again, kind of at this hill, running backwards, being, again, evacuated. I can see uniformed police officers there pushing people back. I wouldn't be surprised if we were pushed back further here at some point, but we are hidden behind a large SUV here, and obviously we'll move if police ask us to. But obviously some very vital information coming from Sean's police sources right now, guys.
Okay.
All right, Alex, we want to take some video that we have from Sky 4 that kind of shows the scene. I believe this is earlier in the night. Kelly, is this right before the gunshot, or when is this from? Right before it happens. Okay, thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, we've been. Allison Harris, her brother was downtown. He thought there was 10 shots fired, a bunch of shots. There's the reaction. Can we open up our guests, Mike in the studio? Mike's in the studio. Kelly, can we do that right now? We have a current Dallas Police Chief Craig Miller in studio, longtime Dallas Police executive, knows how these things would happen, how Dallas Police would respond, and what they would be doing right now. Craig, is your mic open? Can I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you know Dallas Police tactics. You know what would be happening right now. Clarice just reported from Sean Rabb that one suspect is down. They think there may be another one in tactical gear in the parking garage. What are Dallas Police doing right now?
Well, with the officers being down, I think the issue we don't know is whether or not they've been able to be removed from the scene, or whether or not they're actually still down and injured. If indeed that's the case, we have to take care of those officers and make sure to get them the aid that they're going to need. Dallas PD right now is doing a lot of different things. Dallas PD is very well prepared for an incident like this, very professional organization. They were going to already have the emergency response teams available. They've got plenty enough officers to be able to defuse a situation like this. What you've got, though, is a situation, if you do have a suspect that's gone into the garage, now you've got a contained area, now you've more or less got a barricaded person situation. It's not just any barricaded person, it's a person that might have shot and possibly injured a police officer. Not that they're going to treat that any different, but they're certainly going to take this as serious as they possibly can because they don't want to have any other officers injured. That being said, they're going to need to get into that garage to find that person, but right now the number one priority for the Dallas Police Department is making sure that the injured officers are taken care of. And so I think that's one of the things we have to find out. We do know that Dallas, the city of Dallas, has very intricate camera systems downtown that the city owns, but we also know we have businesses downtown who also have video that's available to them.
Now, do you say those cameras that in the dispatch center, they can watch them live and kind of monitor and maybe follow along a suspect as they move around in the downtown area?
Yeah, right now they're able to see a lot of different things that we're not able to see here because they've got cameras at many different vantage points downtown, and they're going back over those vantage points. They're watching it live to see where they are now, but they're also going back over that vantage point to see just how many suspects there might be involved in a situation like this. As I understand it, you guys are talking about the potential of possibly 2 suspects, but you don't know who they may have been working in concert with. That being said, right now, they're trying to backtrack and find everything they can. The Dallas Police Department, a very intricate fusion system, intelligence database that is used. They're probably communicating with the federal authorities as well on a situation like this. There's a lot of things that are happening right now, but nothing's more important than the safety of the officers.
Well, so talk to me about what you see here on the screen, this live shot from Alex, because you do still have a lot of people standing around. In one of the shots, we saw a lot of people with their cell phones out, and police aren't necessarily moving those folks in urgency back. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that they really don't know exactly what they have at this point.
Okay.
I think they're still trying to determine. Normally what we're going to do is we're going to cordon off a crime scene, but we don't want to have officers out cordoning off a crime scene where they might be exposed to some sort of gunfire themselves. So right now they're trying to find out as much information and gather as much intelligence as they can about the area and what's going on around there. Certainly don't want anybody else to be hurt, which would lead me to believe that Dallas PD believes that they've kind of more or less located, essentially identified the area that they're concerned about, and we don't see anybody inside that area.
Well, you know, I see Alex ducking down a bit. You see the officers ducking down a bit, and then you see all these people there. I just think get back and get away, let police handle the situation, because you don't want to have to deal with a lot of other pop-up situations around town when you've got this possible shooter still out there.
Absolutely. Common sense tells all of us to step away and run away, be away from the situation. It's our nature as humans to be interested.
To be curious and pull the cell phone out.
But the cell phone, as valuable as it is in some instances, in a situation like this, is more important for people to protect themselves and protect their loved ones. The police officers need to be protecting themselves as well. And so it's a lot of things, as I said, that are going on. They have emergency response teams over there, I'm sure, in anticipation of the potential size of the crowd. They've got the mounted patrol down there. The tactical units will be involved in this. There's a lot of things that they're talking about right now, and they're not just Dallas PD, but I'm sure they're working with federal authorities, trying to update them on what's going on. But Dallas, as I said, is a very large department, very capable of taking care of this. But we've got to know more than anything right now, what is the status of the officers in their injuries.
And we do have another video that we can roll as you talk, Chief Miller, and we've blurred some things because I believe there's some people down in this shot. I have a witness downtown who says they saw 4 police officers carry a DPD officer to the ambulance. And so this turns this into an all hands on deck situation, right, Chief Miller? I mean, we saw those SWAT officers or tactical gear. They looked like they were in shorts and tank tops, maybe on their day off, and everybody gets called in at this point. They just throw on their gear and get involved, right?
I think right now they're organizing. You cannot have enough resources. I believe Dallas PD had a number of personnel available at this site. They always do that in preparation for a major event of this nature that might potentially have problems that could come out of it. I believe DPD has the resources there right now. I think, as I said, if they've carried the officers off, and if an officer actually was able to walk it with the assistance of other officers, that's really good news to know that they're not down in that respect. But having the suspect there and another possible suspect, and not knowing if we have other suspects that are involved, right now it's kind of goes slower than faster once you immediately extricate the people to safety.
I'm going to ask our producer, Kelly, if State Senator Royce West is able to join the conversation as well. Okay, sir, I believe your mic is on.
Okay.
You've been in studio with us now watching this from the moment it started.
Right.
Tell me, what are your initial thoughts when you see this?
Well, my initial thoughts are that I was over at the rally, and I heard nothing from the speakers that would warrant the shooting of police officers. And so it leads me to believe that there may very well be some outsiders that have come in to somewhat disrupt what was otherwise a very peaceful rally in March when I left prior to this incident occurring.
Outsiders?
Yes.
Like?
Well, I mean, I don't know who it could be. Hopefully we will catch the individuals that are responsible for shooting police officers and then find out exactly who they are and what organizations they belong to.
Gotcha. What was the feeling that you did get when you were down there? Like you said, peaceful, people sharing messages and...
I mean, actually, Heather, what I got from it was that individuals were gathering to express their concerns about what has occurred in both Baton Rouge and also in the state of Minnesota. Those organizations were encouraging individuals that were there, close to about 1,000 people, I think, to join some of the existing organizations that were advocates for equality and stopping police violence. They had also indicated that they would gather in a town hall meeting next week to talk about exactly what the strategy is going to be in order to address this on a systemic basis.
I did hear one thing that made me, after seeing this, I wasn't concerned about it at all at the time, but
yeah,
right. I was there. We were there about the same time, I think.
Right.
I saw you across the crowd. And I think it's just people are angry and upset and want people to do something. There's this stand up, do something. It's time to stand up, don't lay down anymore. And I wonder if some people that aren't better connected might take that in the wrong way. I don't know. And you're right, it could be somebody who wasn't even there, just wants to cause trouble.
Exactly. That's exactly what the message was. Stand up, don't take this anymore. And I'm telling people to stand up, don't take this anymore, because black lives do matter. I mean, we saw exactly what happened, and more recently in Minnesota and also in Baton Rouge. I mean, I don't care what you say. Black lives do matter. You can't tell me that someone, an Anglo sitting in the car with his wife, girlfriend, and a baby in the background would have been treated the same way, especially after complying, at least based on what we saw on the videotape, complying to what the officer said do. And so people are sick and tired of it. What's happening is that because we
when they say stand up, you mean do what they're doing, gathering in protests.
Well, not only standing up means basically take some action as it relates to changing the system from within. I mean, the fact is that you don't go out and start shooting and killing police officers. Just don't do that. But the reality is that, and as you well know, both of you well know, we've talked about dash cameras, which are put into law in the early 2000s, and then we did the body camera legislation last session. We're beginning to see more of it in the video, and in terms of what is occurring and what generations of African Americans have said has been occurring in the past. We're beginning to see these things happen now, and especially the generation, the millennials, now are seeing it, and they want something done. And I think it's going to turn into more, hopefully, voter registration, hopefully more activism as it relates to going
to show up here on the scene. I mean, there were already plenty of officers when the march was taking place, but now responding officers are showing up here by the handfuls. Still a lot of witnesses, a lot of people out here on the streets, and again, a very active scene over here. Here we go, Ed, here we go. 3 more SWAT officers, looks like, in tactical gear, sort of running up towards the scene at this hour. We don't know exactly what they're running to. We know the direction in which they're running, but again, Doug, you were talking about this earlier today. I heard you talk about how many police officers are here. You know, maybe you have a better view from the helicopter, but I can tell you from the ground, I mean, police are everywhere out here. And probably that's one of the reasons why some people are still out here. There's sort of a sense of calm despite this still being a very active scene. Doug?
All right, folks, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream. We are covering breaking news. You've been watching us for the last 90 minutes here. We've been covering this breaking news story for you in Dallas. It was a police rally, protest rally that shots then rang out. Two Dallas police officers have been shot during the protest here. Let's get you another feed here as we are watching this live right now.
Watch out, China. He's in an alley.
I think the father told me this is for real. This ain't no TV show. This is live. I think y'all need to get away from it.
We have an active shooter. He has a rifle. He's in the alley. So again, he just told us that he is in the alley. We have a shooter.
Yeah.
Where my photojournalist was.
Were either of you down in the area where this happened, when the shots went off? No? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just walked past.
Okay, good.
Michael Batista, you can't see him right now, but he just was you were blocked in the parking lot for most of the evening?
Actually, when it started, the shooting started, I was across from that garage over there, and I heard shots fired. I thought they were coming from inside the garage, so I ran across the street. Little did I know I ran across the line of fire, but unscathed apparently. I made it to the parking lot, and I've been over there for the past, I don't know, however long this has been going on. I saw people. Sorry, let me reject this call.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, if you could take a look, I'm standing behind my photographer right now. He has a pretty good vantage point of what's going on. I believe they are focusing in on this alley where you can see these police officers converging. And again, they told us that we need to move back. He's in the alley and he has a rifle. That's what was just told to us as we were standing over here about 50 feet in front of where our shot is. And if you could take a closer look, you can see some officers in heavier gear. They are trying to, it seems like, get ready to go in and maybe try to grab this guy. But again, they told us a man is in the alley. He has a rifle. So they moved everybody back further and further back. And it looks like they're moving more people back as they try to hone in on the subject that they're after. Yeah, and Doug,
Fox 10 News Now stream. This is obviously a very fluid situation. We do appreciate you guys sticking with us right now during this very breaking news situation. Folks, once again, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream. During a breaking news situation, 2 Dallas police officers have been shot during an anti-police rally protest there in Dallas. This is a very, very fluid situation. I do want to roll some video that we have from a Twitter user who was in Dallas at the time, and you could hear the gunshots as they do ring out. Okay, let me take that to you now.
Oh my God, there's people laying on the ground.
This is not one person with a. This is a person with a big mouth. A few mouths.
Oh my God. They can't be found. Oh my God.
Protest.
Oh my God.
Play that for you one more time.
Oh my God. There's people laying on the ground. I hope they're just hiding.
What the fuck is going on? Somebody's really armed to the teeth.
Oh my God.
This is not one person with a. This is a person with a big mouth. A few mouths.
Oh my God. They can't be.
Okay, now, folks, we are back out live for you, continuing coverage right here on the Fox 10 News Now stream. Okay, now we do have live aerials right now.
This whole time, actually, if anybody could give me a charge, I could use that.
I understand that you said you're live streaming right now. Michael, did you get a look at the shooter or shooters?
I didn't get a look at any of the shooters, no.
And you believe that you saw shots coming from a parking garage?
No, that's where I thought they were. That's where I heard them coming from.
Okay.
But it was just the echo of
Right.
what was going on.
Through downtown.
Right.
Okay, Michael Batista, thank you for joining us. I'm glad that you're safe. Michael, one of several people right now who are here evacuated to this area, this section of Below Garden Park, which again, this is where this all started. This is where that rally started. And now you can see several people here who are now kind of safely moved back further away from what we believe to be an active scene down there, and people just right now just kind of standing in place and trying to stay out of the way. Heather and Steve will send it back to you. Thank you. Nope. Thank you.
Okay, folks, obviously we are in a breaking news situation here, right here on the Fox 10 News Now stream. Things are going very, very fluid right now, as you can imagine. Details still coming in. Here is the latest that we do know, and then I'll get you back to that video that we are seeing on Twitter that is going viral right now, as we have video of the actual gunshots ringing out in Dallas. We're going to have that in just a moment for you. Multiple media outlets report that the shots were fired Thursday night during a Dallas protest over two recent fatal police shootings of black men. The gunfire broke out around 8:45 local time there in Dallas. Live TV video showed protesters marching along a street in downtown when the shots erupted and the crowd scattered, seeking cover. There was no immediate word on whether anyone was injured at that time. So what we do know now is two officers have been shot. That was just a little dated copy right there. Let me now show you the video that is really going viral on Twitter right now.
Oh my God. There's people laying on the ground. I hope they're just hiding.
What the fuck is going on? Somebody's really armed to the teeth.
Oh my God.
This is not one person with a. This is a person with a big mouth. A few mouths.
Oh my God. They can't be found. Oh my God.
Protest.
Oh my God.
I'm going to play that for you one more time.
Oh my God. There's people laying on the ground. I hope they're just hiding.
What the fuck is going on? Somebody's really armed to the teeth.
Oh my God.
This is not one person with a. This is a person with a big mouth. A few magazines.
Oh my God. They can't be.
Okay, folks, now once again, this is live aerials in Dallas. Look at all the police activity that is happening right now.
Sienna, can we go into the light? Can we get you into the light?
Okay.
Right here?
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. What's your name?
Larry.
Larry what?
Ferris.
Ferris. We're going to be speaking to Larry Ferris,
F-A-R-R-I-S.
A-R-R-I-S. Larry Ferris. Sure. Give us a minute. We're just another reporter's talking. And where were you? Just so
I was at work 2 blocks away, and I saw everyone scattering. And then we got a call from someone, I don't know who, that said that we should shut down for fear of looting.
Okay.
And so they evacuated us, and I use Uber to get home. And right now, Uber downtown is impossible, so I'm kind of sitting it out. And Dart is at a standstill.
Sure. And where do you work, Larry?
Campese's.
Campese's, okay. Looks like something going on over there.
They're just getting shots of the SWAT team.
Okay.
Back up.
Do we know if the officer's okay? Or okay?
Yeah, we don't know. They're in the hospital. Is this light better than if I turn them that way? You're right, Shauna. I'm sorry. You're right, Heather. I'm here with Larry Ferris, and Larry works at Campese's here in downtown. Larry, you were inside your restaurant when the shots rang out.
Yes, sir, I was.
Take me back to what happened and what you remember.
It was just, a normal day, and then all of a sudden,
I mean, at least 50 cop cars just flying by. And I've worked downtown for 6 years now, and I've never seen anything like that before. So I knew it was something serious. And then after like all the cop cars went by, there was just like hundreds of people running the opposite direction of the cop car. So I knew something was really bad. And then someone made the call for us to shut down for fear of looting. So we shut down and went on lockdown, and got all the customers out safely and closed the business down. And then they asked the employees to leave. Well, I use Uber to get home, and Uber's not running downtown right now, so I'm sitting it out down here. Yeah,
you're basically stuck. Larry,
it was scary.
Absolutely. Did you all have people with the march go past the restaurant?
No, I'm on Elm Street, so we didn't see any of the march. Actually, it was on Main Street. It wasn't until all the chaos went down that we saw people running the opposite direction.
Sure. When you come down here now and you get closer to the scene, Shauna, if we could pan over here and kind of show some of the cop cars, what's your thoughts, Larry? Like you said, someone who has worked downtown for 6 years and never seen a police presence like this, and now learning that there are some officers who have been shot as a result of this incident.
I hope that the officers, are okay, and I really, really hope that they're fine. And I just hope that there's not any other casualties or any casualties, period. This is just senseless.
You've been standing out here with some other people in the crowd. Have you had a chance to talk to other folks and get a feel for what some of these people are going through?
I mean, everyone's just scared and wanting to know what's going on. I mean, there's not really too many answers right now because nobody really knows the answers. We're just hoping that the people who are responsible are apprehended, hopefully safely.
Absolutely.
And I just hope that it all ends safely.
Well, Larry Ferris, who works at Campese's, thank you for sharing your story with us tonight.
Thank you.
And we're going to continue to walk and show you this side now of the road. We are along Main Street, and what you're looking at right now is at the intersection of Main Street and Griffin. The green light is Griffin. We are standing on Main Street. You can see a lot of police cars here. This is where we've seen the bulk of the action from at least as close as we can get to what is the actual scene. And this is where the bulk of the public is being kept back. You can see police tape now stretching across this part of Main Street, as this now is a staging area. Shauna tells me that officers are running now, pushing us back. You're going to see some folks. You're going to see some folks running back towards us in a minute, possibly. Again, police trying to keep people in a safe distance so that they can do their job and make sure that they have a handle on the situation while the public is not at risk. There, according to my photographer, Shauna, you may be able to see a SWAT truck now. Shauna, can they see that?
Yes.
You can see the SWAT truck there that's now at the intersection of Griffin and Main. And if we pan to the right, Shauna, can we see the crowd here? It's kind of hard to see behind the car, but crowds of people being constantly moved further and further back as police continue to really widen out their net here and widen out their staging area. A lot of police officers here, as you can imagine, and a ton of spectators, a lot of people who are part of the rally, a lot of people part of the march, and now a lot of people who live in the area who are curious coming down here to see what's going on, which of course is not a help to police officers who are trying to do their job. We are walking backwards now as officers are asking us to move back as well. You can see very fluid situation right now. And we are walking further back now to the intersection of Murphy Street is kind of where they have us all being staged right now. So again, SWAT team, obviously we know SWAT has been on scene, but we saw an additional SWAT vehicle pull up just a short time ago. And again, police moving us further and further away here from Bilo Garden Park, which was where all of this started, where this march, this rally started earlier today as a result of people being upset from those two recent police shootings of two black men. Heather and Steve.
Get behind this car.
massage your shoulder. Yeah, I mean, we're just winging it. Yeah, my friends keep telling me. Jeez. Really? Well, I don't know where they are.
Look at those officers sitting on the ground. Officers sitting on the ground. Let's take these shots. Stay on that.
Good job, man.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Good thing you're okay.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
You're okay, man?
All right.
Yes, man, I was like, man, all I know is he had an AR-15. That's all I know.
Hey, I'm Alex with Fox News. Were any of you near the area when it happened? No? Thank you.
Yeah, because we were at work. No, we were at work and we just get a call and they're like, all right, we got to shut down the restaurant.
Hey, so were you guys near the area when it happened? No?
All right, folks. Welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream. Obviously a very, very fluid situation, what we have going on here in Dallas. At least 2 police officers have been shot. This all stemming from a protest that was happening earlier in the day. It was an anti-police rally taking in downtown Dallas, and then it became very, very violent as shots did ring out.
I'm Alex with Fox 4. Were you near the area when it happened?
We were at Wing Bucket. We saw the whole thing.
You saw what whole thing?
Him walk past and start shooting at the
Oh, you
police.
did? Oh my gosh. Do you mind if I take you live on Fox News?
What?
It's just your perspective. I promise you it'll be very easy. I'll walk you through it.
You just do it.
I was already on television. I seen it.
We have are you a couple? Or no? Okay. Okay. No. All right.
He's just with me.
All right. I have somebody who has seen it. Come here with me. I'm sorry. Okay. Miss, what's your name?
I'm nervous as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. My name is Giovanni Thibodeau.
What is it?
Giovanni Thibodeau.
Giovanni? Okay. And Giovanni, you said you saw the shooting happen?
Yes. He was at this light, waited till the protesters got done walking past,
Okay.
and start shooting at the police.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about that. Just keep in mind we're live, no profanity. Okay? Giovanni, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, are you ready, Josiah? Okay, spell your name slowly for my producer.
Jyvanni.
And say it?
Giovanni.
And the last name, Giovanni.
Thibodeau. Thibodeaux.
Did you get that? Okay, thank you. Giovanni, just stay with me a minute, okay? We have another reporter that's on. Thank you for speaking with us. I appreciate it. You said, were you marching?
No, I was at Wing Bucket right here.
You were at Wing Bucket, okay.
Sitting outside.
You're what?
Sitting outside.
Okay. We have enough light here?
Yeah, fine.
Scary situation. It all seemed it was going so smooth, you know?
So many shots.
Okay, we're gonna be okay. Hopefully. It'll just be a couple minutes, Giovanni. You're hanging out here, right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Our car is up there, so
so
we can't go anywhere.
I'm on the news, the red hair, all about was going to be slammed. You talk about everybody thinks you talk about you all famous on the news. Yeah, they talk about you all famous on the news. I'm like, yeah, man, this shit happened right in front of me, so I seen that shit. Yeah. I was just sitting there. You guys in the town?
Where?
DeSoto.
Oh, DeSoto.
Yeah. We were just out here to take some things.
Gosh, man, we were here all day. It was so peaceful. Jeez. An empty home, Rick.
You see me on Facebook, I'm just having a beer. I'm watching the protest, I'm having a beer and watching the protest. Nigga, that shit. I'm just text messaging about you all famous on here. I'm not going to work tomorrow. They're going to be like, I'm not going to.
My friend actually saw what happened to her.
Your friend?
She's right here.
Where is she?
She's right here.
Hi, how are you? I'm Alex with Fox News. Can we talk to you a second?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. It'll be live, so just please go first, okay? Okay. And tell me your name.
Andrea Thompson.
Hey, Josiah.
Andrea.
I know, my producer. I'm talking, giving him your name. I have another person who I'm going to be speaking with as well. It's Andrea Thompson, correct? Thompson with an H?
Yes.
Okay, Andrea Thompson with an H. And I'll have them side by side here. Is this going to be fine? All right, thank you, ladies, for sticking around. Oh, there's a breeze at least.
Yeah.
Make sure you tell them the truth. Make sure you tell them the whole truth.
Ain't nothing else but the truth.
That we got to the corner and the man fired the first shot, 3 seconds passed, the second shot goes down, officer goes down, they turned the guns towards us. We had to break and run. They returned fire towards the unknown shooter and think that the protesters was the ones who had shot the officer. Tell the whole truth.
We need to be on camera. Damn. Let me not cut. It's damn.
All right, folks, I'm going to jump in here for just a little bit. We are getting another breaking news report, and this is a really hard one to say. Fox 4 News is reporting from multiple sources saying that about 3 to 6 officers have been shot during tonight's protests. Once again, this is Fox 4 News reporting. Multiple sources are saying that 3 to 6 officers have been shot during tonight's protest. This is just an unfortunate situation. Oh boy, we all know an officer. Some have friends, some have family members, some have loved ones that are police officers, and when you hear news about this absolutely just breaks your heart. I mean, this is the world that we're living in now, where there has to be a protest at every time there's a situation, and now we're having gravely injured officers. Folks, I'm at a loss for words right now on the Fox 10 News Now stream. It's so hard for me to be up here. I have cousins that are police officers in Chicago. That's where I'm from. And when I hear news like this is just breaks my heart that I have to come on here and say this and report this for you guys. And wow, this is deep. This is deep. This is news that I didn't want to be talking about today. And once again, Fox 4 News reporting that multiple sources are saying that 3 to 6 officers have been shot during tonight's protest in Dallas, Texas. When will this madness stop? Folks, if you want to tweet along with me today, tweet me at Mike Page, Fox 10. It's a hard day to talk about. It's a hard news story here. It's unfortunate that this is the world now that we live in, where a police officer cannot feel safe anymore on the streets, patrolling and protecting people, citizens of a town. Wow.
My brother must say hi, man. She is pretty little girl. Alright, he said he can't see you. Hold on. You see the pretty little lady? He said he see it. He said one more time, one more time. I can't get my I'm trying to get married. I'm about to propose. I'm in love with the camera like that.
At what? Sure. Right now I'm joined by Andrea Thomas, and ma'am, tell me your name again.
Giovanni Thibodeau.
Okay, so ladies, you said you were nearby when all the commotion happened. Take me back to what you recall.
We were at the Wing Bucket here and ordering food, and then all of a sudden we heard shots, and we were outside, and just a rapid fire. I just remember hearing rapid fire, and then I was seeing all the commotion going on at the light here. And
police officers running back towards the Wing Bucket.
Say that again?
Police officers running towards back the Wing Bucket.
Describe for me what you thought. You know, a lot of pops. We heard it as well.
It had to be like 40, 50 shots. They kept going and going and going.
And what was your initial thought? Did you think it was gunshots?
Yeah, I know it goes gunshots.
I knew it was gunshots, but I just remember thinking, I'm watching the protesters walk down the street, and then all of a sudden it's just rapid fire. You know, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, did somebody get hurt? You know, like, what's going on? This was a peaceful protest. You know, like, what is going on? It really scared me because I frequent this downtown area every day. You know, and it's really scary to know that, you know, when there's something peaceful going on, and then all of a sudden just all chaos breaks out, and it's just scary.
You had said that your car is down there.
Literally past this light right here.
You know, what do you think when you hear right now, you know, the officers who are injured, the situation that we're dealing with right now, seeing chaos in the city?
It's just sad because none of this chaos is happening in Dallas. Everything's somewhere else. It's elsewhere, and they're bringing it here. The anger, everything erupting in the streets. It's inevitable.
Absolutely. Andrea, for yourself, watching what's happening right now in downtown Dallas at this very moment, what are your thoughts?
I'm sorry. I'm scared because, like I said, it was a peaceful protest that I've been, you know, watching throughout the whole time here, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, and I'm just sorry for the officers who got hurt. I'm sorry for the protesters who were scared and things like that, having to get down on the ground, and because all chaos was just out of control here. So it's just really unfortunate series of events, that happened.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time. We are glad you're safe. We want to give you a quick live look at the situation right now. We're here at the corner of Murphy Street and Main Street. Police tape right now keeping us even further and further back. There are just layers upon layers of police vehicles here and police officers lining the streets here, trying to keep the public at bay so that negotiators and officers who are at the actual scene can do their job. But a lot of curious people out here, as you can imagine, hearing that succession of gunfire echoing through downtown Dallas. And then if we take a live look here, just panning over, just really seeing the amount of people who have come down here who weren't necessarily part of the rally or march, but who have come down here now as a result of either hearing all the gunshots, those rapid gunshots, as you heard Andrea say, she thought at least 40 gunshots. We definitely heard several dozen gunshots echo through the tall buildings of downtown Dallas. A lot of people now obviously coming to check this out for themselves, and we are going to continue to monitor this very fluid situation from out here as well. Back to you guys.
All right, now back with you in the Fox 10 News Now studios, and this is a still very fluid situation there in Dallas. We have hearing now reports of multiple police officers that have been shot and taken to area hospitals there in Dallas. This all happening in downtown Dallas. It was during a protest that was happening. It was happening all afternoon, and then out of seemingly nowhere, shots were ringing out, and I mean there were a lot of gunshots. We do have video from a Twitter user. We are going to go to that right now to show you just how loud and just how many rounds were being fired there in Dallas. Let's show you that right now.
Oh my God. There's people laying on the ground. I hope they're just hiding.
What the fuck is going on? Somebody's really armed to the teeth.
Oh my God.
This is not one person with a. This is a person with a big knife. A few knives.
Oh my God. They can't.
So obviously a very, very frightening and terrifying situation there. I mean, you hear those bullets ring out and out and out, and it just keeps on coming. A very, very scary time. Obviously, this is an attack on police officers, on the men and women that proudly wear blue and protect us every day. So this is obviously a situation where we are, our hearts and thoughts going right out to all of the officers involved and their friends and their family. You know, this is a time where we really all have to come together, and it seems like right now as a nation we're not coming together. We are fighting a fight that we shouldn't be fighting. It's a time where we all need to really come together and really stop this madness, because we all talk about, trying to fight ISIS and trying to fight other things abroad, and even fighting terrorists that live here. But sometimes it's not even terrorists that live here. Sometimes it's your neighbor. Sometimes it's someone that has a vendetta out against someone. We need to stop the hate first of one another. I mean, we're fighting forces that hate us too. So when you add the people that are us Americans that are angry and upset too, it's a battle that we have on too many fronts right now. We need to come together and fight for the good of Americans, not just be all. This is really a sad day for humanity, I think. Now we're seeing attacks on police officers. This is just coming days after police officers on video have been shown shooting at citizens. So this is an angry force right now, and now we're getting attacks on police officers, attacks on men and women just trying to protect us And this is a very, very scary situation now that we live in, where at any moment, at any time, police can be really just ambushed. And this is what we saw here. Let me take you back to that video once again of the ambush of officers.
Oh my God. There's people laying on the ground. I hope they're just hiding.
What the fuck is going on? Somebody's really armed to the teeth.
Oh my God.
This is not one person with a. This is a person with a big mouth. A few magazines.
Oh my God. They can't be found. Oh my God.
The protest.
Oh my God. Oh my God. There's people laying on the ground. I hope they're just hiding.
What the fuck is going on? Somebody's really armed to the teeth.
Oh my God.
This is not one person with a. This is a person with a big mouth. A few magazines.
So once again, folks, I know those images and I know those sounds can be very, very saddening and scary, because we know what is happening to those officers and really just civilians as well, just everyday people caught in that gunfire. It's a scary world now that we live in, and it's happening right here in our own backyard, Dallas, Texas. Can you imagine what is happening right now? I mean, a protest was happening earlier in the day. It was a Black Lives Matter movement, and then out of nowhere, officers were getting ambushed, and we did hear those gunshots ring out, and we did hear the terror and fear in the people that were recording that video. So, wow, this is an obviously scary situation all day that we've been covering this for you right here on the Fox 10 News Now stream. We've been covering this now for the last 2 hours straight for you during this very, very breaking news situation. While I have you here, I think this would be a great time for you to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page. That will allow you, anytime we go breaking news, wall to wall, you'll be able to have that for yourself and know when we are streaming a breaking news segment that you might want to tune in on and really get to know what the information is all about. So hit that subscribe button and you'll be in the know. This is a, wow, very, very scary situation for everyone involved there in Dallas. As you can imagine, let's go back out live there right now. Feel free to tweet me at Mike Page Fox 10 and let me know what you are thinking about. I'm loving that all the comments that are coming through right now. Let me know what you think about this situation, and do you think it'll ever have the? I mean, police are really going to have to be on guard now. Everywhere, every police officer in the world is going to have to be on guard now in the United States because of this. You just never know when an ambush is going to happen. Here we go, live.
And firefighters have to the public and should have to the public is that they are there to help them. You know, having been in a number of police incidents, as much as all of our thoughts and prayers right now are focused on those officers that are injured and their families, there still is hundreds of witnesses.
Can I get on air here?
And this is going to be an ongoing incident.
Hey guys.
Let me interrupt for a minute.
Interrupt. Dart has just tweeted
Focus
something.
in
Sean,
on
you have that
something
tweet?
DART is confirming for us now 4 of their officers have been shot and wounded. 1 DART officer now confirmed dead.
Go.
1 confirmed dead now.
So I can tell you that there are at least 6 officers, maybe more now, I can tell you, that have been wounded tonight, that are gravely ill. There are at least 4 to 5 officers who are in serious condition. Serious condition. Parkland and Baylor, where the officers have been taken. Again, DART confirming 4 of their officers attacked in this assault. and one of their officers dead.
And that, I'll read the Dart tweet. 4 Dart police officers were shot in downtown Dallas, 1 deceased, others not life-threatening. No IDs yet. They'll update by Twitter. So 1 deceased, the 3 others with non-life-threatening injuries, according to the Dart tweet.
And Steve, let me say, on these kinds of events, I mean, you don't just have your SWAT team working, especially if you're an agency like Dart Police. So you have your Dart officers who are normally on the trains, who are in their cars. You have both men and women who are working overtime for events like tonight to assist with the crowd control. Dart, of course, always concerned with their transport system, even in the midst of a protest like this, and want to make sure their passengers are able to have ebb and flow across town as they're trying to get home. Many were still trying to get home as this thing was starting. So you have men and women working overtime on downtown streets.
Senator West, you heard the news from Sean. You made we could hear it. It was a groan. It's like a punch in the gut.
You know, we've got to think about the family. The Dart officer has not been identified.
Yes.
But Steve, as you and I were down there, we saw the Dart officers.
Okay, where are you getting that?
Mingling with the individuals there with the rally. There was peace, there was calm. And I think that you kind of hit the nail on the head.
We got to cut in.
Okay.
Text me right now. So I believe
they're arresting somebody right now.
Yeah,
right?
I think we have one arrest at least.
Let's go to Alex.
Alex, you out there? Go ahead.
Right now, we have a guy who is wearing a body armor. According to one of the officers, a guy wearing some sort of body armor. They told him to raise his hands up and walk with his hands up towards the officers. Some of the officers had their guns drawn, and the guy did raise his arms as instructed by the officers and calmly walked forward to the Dallas police officers. Again, I saw at least one officer with his gun drawn. The guy came over as instructed and then laid down on his stomach and was taken into custody by police. You have several people in the crowd who have become kind of angered by the officers' actions. They claim that the guy was just standing in the crowd. He wasn't doing anything. I can tell you I was standing less than 10 feet away from the gentleman and didn't even notice him. He was just kind of standing in the crowd talking to his buddies. The first thing that got my attention was one of the officers flashing his flashlight, flickering his flashlight several times and then giving commands, yelling for the guy, which he said had flat armor on or a flat jacket on, to raise his hands and to walk towards the officers. That is what he did. You can see right now what the situation looks like as we can speak. Obviously the crowd, as you can hear, chanting Black Lives Matter. It's getting a little rowdy here. No doubt some officers will come in to try to subdue the crowd and get this under control. This is happening, guys, at the corner of Main and Murphy. Again, that guy just standing in the crowd. We don't know at all any association with this incident, aside from the fact that one of the officers said that he had some sort of flat jacket on or body armor on and asked him to walk towards him, and some of the other officers drew their guns and supported that officer until they were able to safely take him down to the ground. So obviously this man will be questioned at some point, and police right now focused on trying to keep this crowd of spectators calm, because as you can hear and possibly see or imagine, I'd say there's, easily probably 50 people now who have kind of converged in this area, many of them with their cell phones out, many of them live streaming the situation. And clearly police obviously thinking that this was something they needed to do for their safety and the safety of the public.
Heather and Steve.
Alex, go over again if you could, because you said you're 10 feet from this guy. You noticed nothing. Then the flicker of the flashlight, and this person did exactly then what police said to do, getting on the ground and such?
Get me on the air, please.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sean,
As we
go
watch
ahead.
this image, as we watch this picture, I told you that this was going to be a horrific night. And what I can tell you at this moment is as many as 10, please hear me, as many as 10 police officers have been shot by 2 snipers from elevated positions during the protest rally. 3 police officers are dead. 3.
It was an ambush, Sean.
2 others are in surgery, and 3 more are in critical condition. 3 police officers are dead. 1 DART officer is dead. An intensive search for suspects is currently underway. They're asking, Dallas police asking for any citizen with information regarding the shooting to call them now, 214-671-3482. Again, appears as if 2 snipers shot 10 police officers from elevated positions during the protest rally. 3 officers are dead. 2 are in surgery. 3 are in critical condition. Back to you guys.
Hey, Sean, you said something I'm curious about. Police are looking for suspects. What do we know? We have heard that one person might be in custody. We've also heard that maybe there were negotiations going on, and then you say they're looking. Maybe
we don't believe. According to David Brown, there are no suspects currently in custody. According to David Brown, an intense search is underway. Now, Alex just brought us something of a man who had on indeed a mask, a bulletproof vest, and the green kind of camouflage, as my first DPD source told us about. That might have been happening at the same time Brown was getting his words to me.
Sean, give us the phone number again.
Speak up, please.
Give us the phone number again.
Okay, let me go over what I can tell you again. It appears that 2 snipers shot 10 police officers from elevated positions during the protest rally. One of those elevated positions is going to be the parking garage near El Centro. We saw a lot of police activity around there earlier, Steve. 3 officers are deceased, 2 are in surgery. 3 officers are dead. 1 is a DART officer. 2 are Dallas police officers, I believe. 2 other officers are in surgery. 3 are in critical condition.
And police are asking people with information to call a specific number. Give us that number again, Sean.
Listen, okay, let's see if we can get that number up on the screen. Here it is, Clarice. It's 214-671-3482. We have 1 DART officer dead tonight.
Is the guy still on the ground?
We have 2 Dallas police officers dead in downtown at the hand of a sniper as a protest rally against violence, against police-involved shootings played out in downtown Dallas. And officers who were protecting the people protesting lost their lives by a sniper, not even man enough to stand face to face with them.
Okay, thank you. All right.
3 officers who chose a career that many walk away from.
All right, we do have that arrest that Alex Boyer described, and we don't know if that was just a man in the crowd. He was wearing a tactical vest. We don't know why. And here's that video.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so. Huh? I'm sorry?
They took this man's appearance very seriously. Camouflage pants.
Let's let this play out.
Bulletproof vest.
He's on the ground. Guys, right now we got a breaking news situation. Right now we have a guy who is wearing
that looks like Earl Cabell.
According to one of the officers, a guy wearing some sort of body armor. They told him to raise his hands up and walk with his hands up towards the officers. Some of the officers had their guns drawn. And the guy did raise his arms as instructed by the officers and calmly walked forward to the Dallas police officers. Again, I saw at least one officer with his gun drawn. The guy came over as instructed and then laid.
And just like that, and now we have the phone number on the screen that Sean described for Clarice. 214-671-3482 if you have any information. Alex, go ahead.
Yes, Clarissa Piles.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm joined. I'm sorry.
Baby, you military minded. You military minded.
Hey guys, I'm here joined now live by Clarissa Piles. Clarissa, you were standing out here next to the gentleman who police all of a sudden said to put his hands in the air. What do you recall?
I recall this gentleman, he was sitting right in front of the bar, like in that area, right here, and the crowd just started to separate, and I was like, what is going on? And his hands were up, and I saw an officer with his gun drawn, waving it around towards the crowd. Everybody's like, hey, like, what is going on? He's walking, and then they just grab him, put him on the ground, and arrest him. Like, it was craziness.
And Clarissa, you said, I know you don't know the gentleman, but you said you were standing by him. We were nearby as well.
Yes.
What did you think when you saw it all start to happen? Did you notice what he was doing? It seemed like he was just kind of standing
He had his hands up.
But prior to that, it seemed like he was just standing in the crowd talking to somebody.
Right. He was just sitting around minding his business, just like the rest of us, waiting to, I guess, make his next move, go home or anything like that.
Sure. And from what I remember hearing police say, they were saying that he had some sort of flat jacket or body armor on.
That he had, I guess, a protection, I guess you can say a bulletproof vest, but that doesn't mean that he was a shooter. That doesn't mean he was a suspect. He was with us the entire time. So I don't understand why they pulled him over there. I don't understand that.
And again, just to clarify, you don't know him, but he was standing in the crowd of people where you were.
Yes, right here, right over there near that bar.
Right in front of 1200 Main Street.
Yes.
And did you have a conversation with him prior?
I didn't have a conversation with him. I mean, I was just standing here and I was talking to somebody else, and next thing I know, the crowd separates and he's walking with his hands up. Officers waving his gun towards people, and we're like, what the heck is going on? Yeah.
Clarissa Piles, thank you so much for your perspective this evening. And I believe what you're still looking at is a live picture of where that man was taken. You have to remember we're standing right now is right at the police tape, and on this side you have media and spectators, and then as you see right now, and then obviously on the other side of the police tape you have officers. And again, it was right there where those officers are standing that all of a sudden I heard, because I was standing right here, put your hands up, and then the following situation ensued. That man obviously now taken into custody and being detained. We don't know what they believe his tie is, if anything, is to this situation tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, Alex, and I'm going to tell our viewers that the person you interviewed is naive to all the facts. 3 people dead tonight, 3 police officers dead, as many as 10 shot. Sean Rabb earlier in the newscast described a possible suspect wearing camouflage pants, bulletproof vest. The man they took down right there matches that description. We don't know anything about him, but he shows.
All right, folks, now back out live. Obviously, we just got some major news updates where 10 officers were shot, and now we do have 3 officers that are been fatally shot, and it looks like it was a sniper situation. We're hearing 2 suspects shooting at police officers. This was an ambush against the police. This was an attack on police. We don't know all the details right now, but the suspects are still on the loose at this time. Obviously, a very fluid situation, and it's really just a reminder of just how difficult a police officer job is. At any moment, at any time, these people, these men and these brave men and women can get ambushed at any time, and this is really the world that we live in now. We have international terrorists and we have domestic terrorists. But at the end of the day, we do have to remember this on a very hard news day to report. We do have to remind ourselves that peace and love do conquer all. We have to remain positive on that note, because when we look at these videos and we hear this horrible news that is coming in from Dallas, it's a situation that we as journalists never want to report on, and unfortunately this is a day that is going to go down in history as just one of the deadliest police shootings, one of the deadliest police ambushes in history, especially in Dallas, Texas. This is what we are dealing with right now. Unfortunate, but you guys are now in the Fox 10 News Now stream, part of fox10phoenix.com. We do appreciate you guys being with us all evening long. Let's go back out now live to more details as they are coming in.
713482. And again, we are anticipating, that's the number if you know anything about the snipers in the attack on police during this protest rally. 214-671-3482. And we think about 3 minutes from now, roughly, they should be maybe perhaps the start of a news conference at Dallas City Hall.
Sean, the officers who are injured, do we know which hospitals they've been taken to?
The hospitals are Baylor and Parkland, where officers have been taken. Baylor and Parkland. And there you can see that's outside Baylor, Big Baylor as we call it. Clarice, as you can see a number of people standing out there. That's one of the locations. And again, Parkland is the other where officers have been taken this evening.
Kind of
And
sobering to
shows,
see those
sadly,
gurneys out there waiting for wounded people
repeat.
to come in.
And sadly, as we know, the police family is there, Sean, to support their brothers and their sisters.
Yes, it is important that they show up as a show of support for their comrades, their co-workers, and the families of those who have taken gunfire, who will be coming, obviously, of course, to the hospitals. They'll be brought by law enforcement to the hospitals where their loved ones have been taken.
Sean, we're going to move now to Deanna Zoga.
Okay.
Down there on the streets, downtown Dallas. What are you seeing from your perspective, Deanna?
Well, we're seeing really just a lot of this. We'll try to just give you some perspective. Police officers here trying to keep people out of what they believe is the line of fire. We're tucked away behind a building here where they've told us we're okay to be, so we're not in their way. So you see quite a bit of that. People who may approach, we're on Ross right now, people who may approach Ross. Police are on guard, they're watching, they're asking people to either back away. If they don't, put their hands up. Just about 15 minutes ago, there was a young man walking across the West End here. Police were commanding him to show his hands. He did. They had him walk towards them. He did. They appeared to search him, checked him out. So they're taking every precaution possible here. So two things: keeping people out of the line of fire, and also checking people who may be coming out of really the center of activity here, trying to ensure that they are not armed, trying to ensure that they are not suspects in this shooting that we now know has killed multiple police officers tonight. Over our heads right now, we've seen this quite a bit here, stepped up here within the last 10 minutes. Police helicopters circling overhead, clearly trained on some of these parking garages, on some of these hotels downtown, shining the spotlight even in the street. So really have been concentrated here in this area in the West End in the last 20 minutes or so. If you caught our last live update here, we told you some of the DART trains were stopped, some buses were stopped, people were still on board, but clearly when this shooting happened, police stopped everything until they could assess where things were. One of the trains at about 10:20 this evening started to move back away from this area. It looks like the buses that were parked here that did have people on them don't have people on them anymore, at least that I can tell. Perhaps there may be one man on one of the buses, but for the most part, it looks like police have cleared the people who are on public transit in this area, trying to get as many people out of this area as possible. So we're a couple blocks away from Lamar in Maine, where we had a photographer who witnessed one of the officers who was shot. So we know that's one of the points of violence that occurred tonight. So we're a couple blocks away from that. So it kind of gives you a sense of how far police are keeping people back in the perimeter that they are trying to maintain here. We have seen a couple of armored vehicles driving past the perimeter into the heart of what we think is the activity. Again, I would say it's centered around Lamar and Maine downtown. So these are the SWAT units. We've seen at least two driving into that area within the last, I would say, 40 minutes or so downtown. But for the most part, things are very similar as they were shortly after the gunfire died down. You have a lot of police around from multiple agencies who are taking cover as best as they can. And certainly, again, like I said, trying to maintain that perimeter, trying to watch people who are coming out of this area, any people who are going into it as well. Back to you.
Okay, Deanna and Clarice and Heather, help me out. Let's talk about what's next on the agenda. We thought it was going to be at 10:45, but a Dallas Police news conference. It'll be Chief David Brown. He'll be front and center, and he'll be explaining what happened. That was scheduled to happen at 10:45. Very fluid night, understandable. We have people at City Hall ready to Dallas Police Headquarters, ready to take that and hear from the chief whenever that happens. But we first saw this as Heather and I were walking out to the 9 o'clock news just shortly before 9. We looked at the camera of downtown where our reporter was going to be, and we saw people running. It's like, what's happening in downtown Dallas? So this happened 5 minutes before 9 o'clock?
We were going on close to 2 hours ago now.
And shots were fired, and we now know people the chief is describing as snipers, people in tactical gear.
From an elevated position.
Elevated, ambushing police in the downtown area of Dallas. 10 shot, 3 killed, 1 DART officer and 2 Dallas police officers.
Well, that video is quite telling, and at some point, if we can get back to that later in our continuing coverage, because you see people, this rally was almost over. It had been going on since 7 p.m., shortly then before 9 o'clock. It's about over. People are starting to, it's still a large group of folks, but starting to kind of go their own way as this kind of comes to an end. And then all of a sudden, it was like oil and water. It just, people move out and just begin running. And Shauna, she ran toward those gunshots with her camera. So we were able to get the perspective of what she and Alex, who have been down there all night covering this event. And I had somebody tweet that tells Shauna to keep her camera steady. This is breaking news. They left their tripod behind ages ago as they were being moved and running toward these gunshots to bring us this breaking news and then to continue following it for hours. Outstanding job bringing us this awful, awful news tonight.
And as you're talking about the ground shots that Shauna gave us, right now Sky 4 is giving us a look. This is tape of what happened just a few hours ago as people heard those gunshots and just started running, filled with fear, anxiety, just not knowing what happened. The march had been peaceful, as Heather said. It was about to wrap up. And tonight is a night of sadness and tragedy in downtown Dallas, and you know that there are people who have been and are continuing to pray for the officers who lost their lives, pray for their families, pray for their colleagues, because those officers were shot from what we are told was an elevated position.
And when we saw this, there's only one reason for this kind of reaction. Frighteningly, it became apparent. When you see this, they either had shots fired or thought there were. And we now know 50 plus shots were fired in this area, believed to be from that elevated parking garage. And whatever you've heard previous to this,
all right, folks, once again, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream. We are in a live breaking news situation. One of the worst breaking news situations that anyone wants to report on. This is, wow. a day that is going to go down in history as one of the biggest police ambushes ever. What we are hearing, 10 police officers shot. We have 3 dead right now in Dallas because of sniper activity from a parking garage is what it seems right now. Those suspects are still outstanding right now, as you can see and hear about what police are doing and setting up that perimeter. This is just a day that's a night that we really could have never thought of and could never have imagined. But once again, we are dealing with just absolute craziness in our society. And this is, we talk about international terrorists. Now we are talking possibly domestic terrorists. And who knows at this point what led up to this. We do know that there was a protest going on in the afternoon. It went into the evening, and then all of a sudden, gunshots started to ring out. We're hearing more than 50 shots were fired. This was an ambush. This was an attack on our police officers, on the brave men and women that protect us every day. We can never forget that, what they do every day. I cannot imagine what they have to go through every day to protect every one of us. And right now they were ambushed. Right now our hearts and prayers are with those family members and friends of the ones that have been attacked and that are not even with us anymore. So that's a hard pill to swallow right now, but this is the situation that we are living in right now. I do want to go now back out to live coverage. Just wanted to peep in here and give you the latest.
That the gentleman or the man was just standing in the crowd with them, just kind of talking to people when an officer noticed him wearing a flat jacket and then flashed his light and ordered him to put his hands up and walk towards him, which I can tell you, seeing this for myself, the guy with the flat jacket did adhere to all of the commands and did walk over and put himself down on the ground. But right now, he was walked to the back of a police cruiser, and you're seeing the aftermath ensue as a result of just a lot of emotion, a lot of raw emotion. A lot of people here just upset with the way the situation is, in their minds, being handled by police. But as Steve mentioned earlier, this man matching the description, at least somewhat, of someone officers were looking for or had on their radar. And at this point, we know officers are dead. Officers are injured. Police need to take every precaution possible in making sure that this isn't somebody who is going to hurt anyone. So right now, police moving people away from the street so that police can get the cruiser through. And as you can see, they just got the cruiser through, and now that cruiser is headed up Main Street and away from this crowd right now. People who, again, have some strong emotion around everything that's transpired tonight, and mainly the arrest, or at least the detaining of this man in a flat jacket. So that is what you just saw right now, guys.
Yeah, they don't get it. Okay, Alex, thank you.
Sure.
So, what you got to think about now is where the search for these suspects are, because there was a lot of talk about the parking garage, but you know by now that's been gone through probably. Yeah. And so, whatever happened there is maybe a crime scene, but suspects are probably gone. And so now, police are on the move now, right? There is a move to find evidence and any witnesses and respond to phone calls and go. But it is all hands on deck, and Dallas police, police from all across North Texas now are on this.
Any surveillance cameras in downtown that would have a purview of that garage of the shooters, they're looking for that video, capturing that video, trying to get information from people. We gave you an updated number, 214-671-3485, if anyone has information about the snipers and the fatal shooting tonight in downtown Dallas. 10 police officers shot by 2 snipers from an elevated position, and sadly 3 officers are dead. 2 officers are in surgery, 3 listed in critical condition, and a DART officer is among the deceased, as well as 2 Dallas police officers who are deceased.
Guys.
Sean, let's bring you in.
Yeah, I need to let you know that an 11th Dallas police officer was shot during an exchange of gunfire with one of the suspects. That officer is being transported to the hospital. Now,
this is recent, Sean, like with
yes.
initial contact or right now?
No,
Okay.
this is now, within the last few minutes.
Okay.
This has come to me in the last few minutes.
Do we know where
Where did that happen, Sean?
I do not have a location where this took place. This is from David Brown, Chief of Police.
Likely not in the downtown area, where we got downtown covered. We got reporters all over, so they would have heard that exchange of gunfire. So probably moved out of the downtown Dallas area.
I don't want to go there. We don't know, Steve. Yeah. We don't know. As I was trying to get in, you heard all sorts of things and sirens wailing, and so I don't know exactly where that transpired. It's possible that it could have taken place outside of the downtown area. That has not been indicated to us.
Okay.
So for now, let's just assume, I guess it's safe to assume the crime scene is all of downtown right now.
Yes.
And Chief Craig Miller is here with me. He agrees with that assessment. Correct, Chief?
Yes, sir. Anywhere inside the yellow tape, plus anywhere else.
Anywhere inside the yellow tape and anywhere else in downtown right now, we're going to assume the crime scene is there and active. And not only are police looking for the shooter and trying to take care of their wounded, somebody tonight has the sad task of going to someone's home with this grim news.
Sean, for the information you just gave us about the 11th officer who was shot, do you have any information while we're waiting for that news conference from City Hall? Do you have any information on the condition of this 11th officer?
What I can tell you is that he has been transported. I do not know his condition. I can tell you that he was engaging one of the suspects in a shootout. He was injured. I do not know the depth of those injuries, the number of times he was hit. I know he is being transported to the hospital. So far tonight, it's been the Trauma 1 centers of Parkland and Baylor, where all of the officers, we believe all of the wounded, including
all right, folks,
at
we
least
are going
one
to a live
civilian
press conference
woman
right now in Dallas.
has been transported to police.
Area where we believe there might be a bomb planted. And again, I'll quickly take some questions, but I want to remind you, we've got one of these suspects cornered, and I need to get back and take care of the business of protecting this city. So
let me finish, and then we'll take the questions. Okay. I ask everybody to focus on one thing right now, and that is our Dallas police officers, their families, those that are deceased, those that are in the hospital, fighting for their lives. Let's all come together and support our police officers. I've never been as proud. I believe we've got one of the best forces in the nation, and we've done things with civil rights in the right way, and we've done it for the safety of our citizens. So please, let's come together right now as a city. Let's take some questions.
Chief, talk about the pictures you guys want put out. Who are these people you're looking for in the pictures? They handed a bunch of these out.
Right. We wanted to show a person of interest who witnesses at the scene say were involved in this shooting in some way. So this is a person of interest. As you can see, they're in camouflage, and they have a rifle strap slung with a rifle butt sticking up. And we know that rifles were used to injure and kill Dallas officers and a Dart officer. And so if anyone knows or recognizes this picture, please immediately call 911. Do not approach this suspect. We'll bring him to justice.
Chief, I'm sorry, to get the numbers straight, there's 10 Dallas police officers that have been shot, 3 Dallas police officers deceased, 1 Dart officer and 4 Dart officers shot, or does that include the 10 are also Dart
right,
officers?
so again, the initial release was we had 10 officers shot. One of those officers is a Dart officer, and they're deceased. Another Dart officer was injured, but not deceased. There's 2 Dallas officers deceased. And as I mentioned, to update you, from that initial 10, we've had an additional officer to bring the total to 11. Any other questions?
And we also have one civilian that was shot.
Yes.
Wounded or killed?
Wounded.
Wounded.
Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll get back with you guys.
I want you to talk.
Okay. Right now.
All right, folks, that was the Dallas police chief giving us all a update there, and you could see this is a looks like what this is a terrorist situation. They just released a photo of that suspect. Wow, unreal what we are dealing with right now. This is a what appears to be maybe a domestic terrorist. We do not know at this time, but you could see they were trying to almost plant a bomb. They were saying that so not only were they ambushing police officers, but it looked like they wanted to do a lot more harm, and those suspects are still outstanding right now. Let's now go back out live.
So this would be his concern. He represents our area, and he is saying that one suspect is in negotiations. Now, this is the suspect that we saw at the rally. We talked about this 2 hours ago. Lou and I in the studio walked over there, and he talked about seeing a guy with an AR-style rifle slung over his shoulder, and this was the guy in the crowd at the rally.
This is the guy you guys saw? Lou did? Okay.
And we do not know why this man has risen and is on their radar, but Dallas police have identified him as one of their suspects and help them find him.
Yeah, and they're saying if you know this man or you have information about the snipers, call the number that you see there, 214-671-3485. But we also heard them say just now during that news conference, just call 911.
Get it done.
Just call straight to 911 if you got any information about this man who is a person of interest and the two snipers who took fire from an elevated position in downtown Dallas against Dallas police and Dart police officers.
This guy was at Belo Gardens tonight at that rally. He was there, and he looks like he's out in front of the marchers as they broke from that position. I missed what you said, Kelly. Say it again, producer. Let's just get it out to Alex Boyer right now. Alex is on the scene. Alex, what can you tell us?
Sean, well, it's interesting. If you take a quick look right here at the wing bucket, our channel is on the air there. We're showing a picture. I believe that's us, but there's a picture of one of the suspects on camera, and everybody just walked up to the window in order to take a good look at him. So a lot of people now have this guy on their radar. I also want to bring in Changa Higgins. He is an organizer with Dallas Action Coalition. I know you're not one of the official organizers of tonight's event, but you all were part of tonight's rally and march, correct?
Correct.
So tell me what you remember and what transpired while you were out here.
Well, I mean, it was a great protest and march and show of support for, police brutality and police killing nationwide and here in Dallas. It looked like it was about to end as we were walking back down Commerce to come back to the rally point, and I was about in the middle, so I heard like 4 loud pops, and then it sounded like, some rapid fire after that, and then the crowd just started running in all kind of different directions.
Changa, what did you do when you heard those gunshots? Where'd you go?
Well, I was just trying to get, first of all, my kids out of the way, and then just direct people out of the way.
Yeah. Changa is somebody who is part of a grassroots coalition like this, who wanted to see this go peacefully. Kind of how does your heart feel right now, knowing how this has ended with the death of several officers and injury of others?
It's tragic, when you talk about the loss of life, but I mean, it's kind of got an ironic twist to me here in Dallas, particularly because the city of Dallas and the Dallas Police Department has been really successful about not talking about and not exposing their issues like the ones we're seeing bubbling up across the country. And so for this to happen and for officers to be killed during this is like a wake-up call that something different needs to happen. And people want to see justice. People want to see reform. People want to see police be held accountable when they feel like it's murder. So,
well, sure. Well, obviously tonight, Changa, thank you for your perspective. A lot of people, though, praying for the officers, obviously, who
did not see this coming, as we believe that they may have been ambushed, just doing their job, trying to protect the people who are out here exercising their First Amendment right to gather and express their opinion. As you take a live look, guys, down Main Street right now, it's just amazing to see the sea of flashing lights here. Just dozens and dozens of Dallas police cruisers continue to block the roadway here. What is usually a main, or it is Main Street, what is usually a very
All right, folks, now back out live with you. This is an absolutely horrific day here in Dallas as major ambush went on earlier this evening in Dallas. Hi, everybody. Mike Pace here with a lot of heavy hearts, not only here in the newsroom, but I could feel it across the nation right now. What we are seeing is just an absolutely horrific scene there in Dallas. Total mayhem, ambush. Police were ambushed today. We now have 11 officers that were hit. 3 of them are dead right now. Others have been rushed to the hospital. We've been seeing that live feed happen right now. This is all happening to you live right now on the Fox 10 News Now stream, part of fox10phoenix.com. It's just a day I don't think that many will forget, and it's a horrible reflection on just what our country is about now. You know, when we all should be coming together, it feels like we are being torn apart. And I know there are so many great people in this country, and then there's others that want to harm us. Just like these 2 snipers today wanted to create mayhem and terrorism situations in Dallas, Texas. Hard to imagine, but police officers were murdered today in the heart of downtown Dallas. Just earlier in the day, there was peaceful protest going on. Peaceful protest happening all over the country today. And then terrorism hit. Domestic terrorism hit. Our officers were shot and killed in the middle of just what it seemed like a normal evening, a normal protest situation, a peaceful protest, and then snipers from elevated areas taking charge on our men and women in blue. We are dealing now with a scary situation that we are now calling just everyday life, where at any moment and at any time, it doesn't matter if you're a police officer or not, mayhem can strike where they are ambushed. I can't help but think about the officers, the family, and friends that are dealing with just a terrible situation right now. So many are getting that phone call that you never want to hear, or they're getting that knock at the door that they never wanted to happen, but now it is a reality, and this is the reality that we are facing right now. I know, guys. I know it's heavy hearts across the country, and I do appreciate all of your tweets that are sending me tweets of just a really positive vibe that everyone's trying to have at this moment, because we need to remain positive. There are so many great people in this country. There are so many great actions every day, and then it seems like as a news organization, you really only hear about the bad things happening in life, but there were so many good things that are happening. And it looks like we do have another live press conference happening right now. Let's take that live.
This was supposed to happen about 10:45, and then it happened about 10-15 minutes ago. We saw Chief Brown along with Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings addressing the media.
They started out by saying their concern right now is for the the families of the dead and those who fought for their lives and those who are currently fighting for their lives right now. That's how they wanted to start the news conference. That's where the focus is. And number two is find the people who did this.
And this is a ground shot there in downtown Dallas where we see the police presence. We see all those people have been down there with cell phones and recording. It's near the DART station. And as we heard from Deanna Zoga earlier, of course, DART buses, they put a stop to those. This all started at the end of this, what was peaceful rally that began at 7 p.m., minutes before 9 o'clock. We heard from Alex Boyer dozens and dozens of shots. People say perhaps 50, and we had been showing you that video where people were walking along, perhaps going to their vehicles, going to their next event for the night. And then the gunshot started, and now we have this. Now we have this Dallas police tip line number on our screen. If you know any information, we've been showing you suspects' pictures. We've been talking to folks and hearing their frightening stories. One employee at Campese's who said they went on lockdown there, locked the door, had to get away. Other women out at dinner, just enjoying their evening, and this happened. And it's so frightening for so many people. Alex and Shauna had to duck behind police cars for a while because they were in the line of fire when police were searching this parking garage.
It's interesting. I wonder, Sean, if you would agree that now if there was someone they were negotiating with, and you mentioned maybe those negotiations have backed off, at least Chief Brown said they had one cornered, that would likely be the person who a Dallas officer exchanged gunfire with. That would mean they came into contact with him and other officers would know where that guy is.
So there's been a lot happening across downtown tonight. 2 officers were rescued. They were pinned down, taking fire. 1 officer was shot from a rifle that went through the back of his vest. I have a source telling me that 1 suspect is in custody now, and another is located and barricaded, and that's what we know. So there were some dramatic moments, a rescue of officers who were pinned down taking gunfire. 1 shot through the back of his vest. I believe that you're looking at now the person of interest, a picture of the person of interest who had, was that an AR-15?
It was an AR-15 style rifle.
I've got Chief Craig Miller with me. If you all can open his mic, Director. He's standing next to me now. And that's an AR-15, Chief?
Yeah, it looks, it gives you the impression that it is going to be a semi-automatic weapon. Looks similar to an AR that's capable of firing multiple rounds, which can hurt a lot of people.
And so you're seeing a great picture of his face. Dallas police say, if you know this man, if you're watching Fox 4 News right now and you know this man from any place at any time, call the number on the screen now, 214-671-3485. This is a night like no other in the history of the city of Dallas. Chief?
Sean, you know, I'd like to say a couple of things. This is going to go down as one of the bloodiest and most horrific nights in the history of the city of Dallas, but in particular the Dallas Police Department. The brave men and women of this department did not deserve a senseless and cowardly act like what was committed earlier tonight.
Let me interrupt you because we now have 4 officers dead. 4 officers dead.
As words do not describe the feeling and the emotion that the police officers in this city and the police officers across the country are experiencing right now. And this isn't something that words can talk about. The senselessness of this, the cowardliness of this, and I can...
All right, folks, unfortunately I do have to once again break in for another just horrible update here. Dallas Police Department just tweeting moments ago, with heavy hearts, we are devastated to report a 4th officer has been killed. Wow. Just another horrible update that I had to come on and tell you guys about. This is, like they were saying earlier, this is one of the worst nights ever for Dallas Police Department and really for the country as a whole, that we have to hear about this attacks on our police officers, men and women in blue. Unfortunately, I had to come in with another update for you. Just if you're just joining us, welcome to the Fox 10 News Now stream. With heavy hearts, we are devastated to report a fourth officer has been killed. That was just tweeted by the Dallas Police Department just 1 minute ago. Wow. So it's hard not to be rattled when you hear those kind of news and updates that we are dealing with right now. Let's go back now to live coverage of this situation.
From where I'm standing, we see two officers. One is the bike officer, it appears. We saw another officer in Class C or regular uniform. Those two officers being rushed out of harm's way. Officers moved in with squad cars, Chief, to try to block gunfire to get to them and get them in those cars and get them out of there. They're not going to wait on an ambulance, likely, or we don't know that.
No, they don't have the Bearcat that the SWAT guys have that they're using right now to try and locate the suspect where they may be having a confrontation. These vehicles are being used as cover for the officers, and that's exactly what they can do. We don't mind if vehicles get shot. We don't want people getting shot, and that's really important for the public to know. Right now, you've got officers that are responding. Many of them have first aid training. They're trying to immediately get that officer out of harm's way so that they can continue to take fire. If in fact the suspect has not been captured yet, the officers are trying to do what they can to help their comrade. And right now the other officers are trying to stay safe themselves behind those vehicles to protect them.
This is, now we're rolling this video back now. That was happening as we were watching here in the newsroom. And they're trying to rush them out as quickly as possible. So there could be more shooters than the previously suspected two in downtown Dallas tonight.
And I think that's what Chief Brown was alluding to when he said we don't have any suspects in custody yet. And I think we've seen on the video here over the course of the last 30 minutes where some people appear to have been taken into custody, but we don't know how many people are going to be known to this. And this is still very much an ongoing active crime scene as well as a very active investigation. And it's got to be noted that this investigation has to be handled in immediacy to protect the officers and the safety, but also realize this is a criminal investigation where capital murder charges are going to be filed against the suspects, and we have to do everything we can to contain the scene and protect the officers, but at the same time establish a crime scene and ensure that we protect the scene to file the best case that we can later on. I know that's not the concern right now to the public, it's the safety of the officers.
Yes. So again, we know that 4 officers at this moment are dead. 4. And we have reason to believe 3 of those wear the badge of the Dallas Police Department.
Hey, do we need to move? I heard Sean. We didn't hear a shooting from where we are.
Okay, so what we were told this was live video, but we may have been looking at something that was being fed in, Chief Miller.
Okay.
But we were told in the newsroom this was live video. And so it may have been feeding in from moments earlier where officers were wounded and down and had to be pulled out by their comrades.
Well, the emphasis for the cars would still have been the same, Sean, whether it was something taking place right now or something that took place earlier. Without those Bearcats or those bulletproof vehicles, the officers have to use everything they can to immediately try to bring those officers into safety. And that's what it appears they were trying to do in that video. Whether it was a video that happened a couple of hours earlier, 30 minutes earlier, that's not as much the issue as the actions that the officers took were appropriate to try and protect themselves and also the other officers and pull them out of harm's way.
Okay, but we do want to assure people, we think, again, we were told that was live. Please understand, and I'll apologize, but please understand how fluid it is as this is coming into us, and people thought that was live video. It was showing us what happened just a little bit earlier, as Chief Brown alluded to the shootout, the exchange of gunfire that officers were in where an officer went down. And so for that, not to add angst to this already horrific situation, it does not appear that there has been an additional shootout. And again, we were told that was live video, but that was being fed in from just moments earlier when Chief Brown talked to us and shared with us about the 11th officer being shot. But what we saw, and you'll see it soon, what we saw and what you were describing, Chief Miller, is how the police move in a situation like that.
Yeah, we have to help each other. And you're in a situation where they're out there kind of in the open area, and you're dealing, as I said earlier, with a group of cowards who are trying to shoot from elevated perches or from hidden locations where they're not where the officers can see them. And the officers are trying to deal with the officers who are injured, in addition to trying to protect themselves and the citizens that are there who also could be exposed to this gunfire.
Chief and Sean, we're going to interrupt you just for a minute. We want to show people the picture of the person of interest who was at the rally. Right here, you see the person in camo shirt right there.
Right there,
with
walking.
the rifle slung over his shoulder.
In fact, he points to himself as the camera here, right here.
That's real.
And there were hundreds, if not 1,000 people in downtown tonight.
Sean, let's just say there are some people talking about this man not being in a position, if he's at the head of this group, which was fired upon within seconds later.
Yeah, that's
they're wondering
right there.
exactly how he got to where he got to. But so they just want to talk to him. There's a guy at camo with a gun. They want to talk to him.
Person of interest.
He is not being called a suspect.
Right.
He is a person of interest because he has an AR-15 and because an AR-15 assault-style weapon was used in the assault on the police officers. Yep. He's not being called a suspect. He's being called a person of interest. If you know the man, they're asking you to make the phone call 214-671-3485.
All right. Just a few minutes ago, Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings and Dallas Police Chief David Brown held a news conference at City Hall. We're going to let you listen to that now.
And Chief Brown will give you that information in a moment. Our purpose is to give you that information real time. So we'll be back probably a little bit later with more detailed information, but there's a lot of questions out there, and we wanted to make sure everybody knew what happened. About 6 o'clock, we had a peaceful demonstration in downtown Dallas. After the demonstration, there were about 800 people in that demonstration. We had 100 officers protecting the demonstrators and the surrounding area. After the demonstration, a march was taking place to the West End, and at 8:58, our worst nightmare happened. Our Dallas Public Safety, Dallas Police Department, DART officers were fired upon by shooters. I'm sad to say that we have deceased, and it is a heartbreaking moment for the city of Dallas. I'm going to let Chief Brown go over the details of that, and then I'll come back and close, and we'll take the questions that we can take. Chief.
First of all, this is a very emotional time for our department, for the law enforcement community here in Dallas and across this country as it relates to this incident. What I can tell you as an update is that just before coming out, we got information that we had a suspect cornered in the El Centro garage on the second floor. We believe is one of the shooters, and we are negotiating with that person as we speak. So I'm going to have to get back real quick, but we do know what happened is that two snipers, at least two snipers, from elevated positions as the protest rally march ended, began firing upon our officers, ambush style, and shot what we believe at this point 11 officers. We've confirmed one more since we put out the initial 10. 11 officers were shot, and 3 are deceased. Some shot in the back. We believe that these suspects were positioning themselves in a way to triangulate on these officers from two different perches in garages in the downtown area, and planned to injure and kill as many law enforcement officers as they could. We are reaching out to the families of all these officers and getting them transported to the hospital. So we'll ask for your prayers for these families. And we ask that you give our officers strength to catch these suspects and bring them to justice tonight. If anyone has information about these suspects, please call the Dallas Police Department. Call 911 and give us that information so we can bring these people to justice. We also believe that these suspects have threatened to...
All right, everybody, join now with the one and only Danielle Miller, Fox 10. Obviously a very, very sad day, not only in Dallas, but just across the country.
Across the country. It's just insane to think about what's transpired over the last 3 days. You started with, one police shooting, justifiable or not. It's happened, then the next one, and then now this. It's just, I don't know. Any news like this is tough to hear, tough to see what's going on there, even though it's not our community, but it's...
No, I mean, I think we could all feel that. I mean, especially when you're hearing news of like a sniper situation, multiple snipers just clipping officers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And now we have 4 dead and many, many more injured. I mean, this is...
They're saying gravely injured.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it could rise, and the worst part is suspects still outstanding. So that's
2 of them.
Yeah,
right?
That is at least 2. Then who knows as the investigation goes. But I don't even know how you would start an investigation because right now it's just pretty much pandemonium
and
there.
Chaos with all these people, and I'm wondering if with the snipers, if they were... It looks as if they were specifically targeting police officers because it seems the only people hurt at this time are police officers. But I want to know if anybody maybe at the protest was shot, a bystander or something like that with, the gunfire. But if it looks as now, it's not confirmed that police were obviously targeted, but it'll be interesting to see if anybody else was hurt that was at the protest.
Definitely. And you guys that are watching can join the conversation with us, Fox 10, Danielle and Mike Page, Fox 10. We are on Twitter right now for you. And then also you had a story today that kind of had the same type of theme. Maybe describe your story, what you did today.
So I talked to, it's the president of the Peoria Police Department Association, Police Officers Association tonight, and he has a lot of training, skills, things like that. He deals with training for officer-involved shootings and things like that. So we kind of just talked to him about what he saw in the videos that have been posted of the 2 recent shootings, the one in Baton Rouge and the one in Minneapolis or Minnesota.
Yep.
So he kind of just talked about it. What he's saying right now is that it's actually just too early to tell. He says, we do have camera footage, we have things like that, but just at this point, he said it would be unfair to the officers as well as the victims or suspects or however they're going to be classified. He says it's unfair to say if those actions were justified or not justifiable because cameras don't tell the whole story.
True,
we don't
that's
have
true.
all the facts. It's kind of just, he says people shouldn't be saying their feelings until all the facts are out there. And what he was also saying is that right now there's such a lack of training in our police departments. He told us here in Arizona, I think it's 565 hours to become a police officer, training hours.
Yes.
And to put that into perspective, here in Arizona to become a cosmetologist, it's 1,600 hours.
My gosh.
So somebody coloring hair
needs
to
more.
somebody who, is dealing with people who are having mental illness, things like that, in these very tense situations, just that amount of training. And then over the year, they do have mandatory training, but he says it's up to just 8 hours a year of classroom.
Sure.
So he's saying that our officers actually need more training. He says if officers, statistics have shown, studies have shown that if an officer has more training, they're actually not going to use their weapons as soon as somebody who doesn't have that amount of training.
Sure.
So, and he says also when funding gets cut, the first thing to go is training, which is like the number one thing we need. And he said it's also kind of the mood of the officers coming in. They're begging for people to become police officers because look at the violence now, what's going on right now in Texas. Who's looking at that saying, sign me up?
Yeah,
So he's
really.
saying there's just a lack of people coming in, a lack of officers. So it's a very difficult time right now for that profession and as well as the training, the funding. He said something really good tonight. He says, training is like an insurance policy, but you only realize after the fact that you should have bought the biggest policy, just like any insurance policy.
Yeah.
So it's really crazy. It's just sad. It's everything that's happening, and You know, he said here in Arizona, for the most part, he believes that police are respected and things like that, so it might not be as big of an issue as he says. More East Coast, they see a lot more of the issues with his experience. So it's a difficult time right now, and we have the rally scheduled for tomorrow here.
I know.
Phoenix.
Yeah. So you could just
judging off this, I mean, I can only imagine how big the police presence is going to be.
It's going to be heightened to the
It has
ninth
to be. I mean,
degree, whatever you want to go up to. But
Right.
if you're just joining us, everybody, I'm joined by Fox 10 Danielle Miller, and then my name is Mike Page, and we are just unfortunately covering just such a sad story out of Dallas. 4 police officers dead, many more injured, and it's a story that we never wanted to cover. And I mean, just leading up to it, it was a peaceful protest.
Which many of them are.
Yeah.
You know, it's people go out there and protest.
And today was protests across the country, and then this one, just out of nowhere, it was a direct ambush.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I was mentioning a little bit before, I wonder if anybody else in the crowd, obviously you can see the video of everybody running and scattering. There were so many people there. For none of regular just civilians to get shot, you know, I'm curious to see if somebody is going to come out and has been injured, not just police. But at this point, obviously with all the information we've gotten, it seems like it was directed specifically at police. So it's just, I mean, just starting from that first police shooting in Baton Rouge, and then the next one, and then now this, it's just, it seems like everybody is just so at war with each other.
I know. And you know, I was explaining to them earlier that, you know, it's sad enough that we have to deal with ISIS and be worried about international terrorists, but then we have our own in our own country that want to cause problems. Exactly. So I mean, when you think probably that the terrorists watching this now are like, whoa, they're doing our job for us. Exactly. You know, it's it's sad. It's very sad, and it's just kind of like the state that we're in right now.
Yeah, you just have so many difference of opinions. You have so many different backgrounds and opinions and professions and things like that, and I guess it's come to the point where everybody, I think, is just so tense, so things are so heightened right now because of everything that's going on. So it leads to stuff like this, to this violence too. I think people probably, they think it's justifiable because their feelings are so intense, and so, you know, so it's sad. It's sad to think about and scary to think about what could possibly be next or what could possibly come from any of this. It's just not a good day for anybody.
No, not a good day for, and my heart goes out to the friends and family of these officers who are getting that call, or even
who were just protecting.
Yes,
they were just there.
They were there to protect.
Doing their
they were
job.
protecting the peaceful protesters, and then all of a sudden, tragedy hits.
And
so.
it's also crazy too that they had nothing to do with what sparked this protest.
Yeah,
they had nothing to do with it. It was in a completely different state, completely different city. And nothing to do with these officers. These officers are not the ones who are involved with the other incidents that these people are upset about, you know?
Yeah,
and now
that's
these
true.
people who are there just protecting these protesters, going to work, doing their job, you know, they, I'm sure, kiss their families goodbye, just like all of us do every day when we go to work, and now they're not coming home. It's sickening, and it's sad, and it's, when will it end, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And join the conversation. We're on Twitter right now at Fox 10 Danielle and Mike Page Fox 10. We would love to hear from you and keep the conversation rolling. I know you got to get ready for your...
I do, 10 o'clock shot, so...
Yeah, so if you are local, tune in, Fox 10, because you're going to have a report on there as well. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're going to go back out now live
Told
images
you,
right now.
So you want a wide perimeter, and over time, as they clean out downtown, as people get out of there, over time, then they'll start to slowly kind of pull that in some, tighten it up some. But remember, they're going to be looking for evidence. They're going to be looking for shells in the area where these shootouts took place. Because, as Chief Miller told us earlier, in all of this, you have a capital murder investigation. In fact, you have multiple capital murder investigations. You have four police officers who are dead. And we do not yet know the gender of those officers. But as I mentioned to you earlier, an event like this, people are working overtime. You have both men and women on the street working tonight.
So what we have, I just want to nail this down. We have the person of interest, but there's a lot of talk about this guy being on the ground walking with protesters when some of the shots started being fired. We have a guy who police are telling us was in a shootout with police, so we suspect strongly he is a suspect. So he's in custody. If there were two shooters triangulating Dallas police and this person of interest who a lot of people are saying they were near when the shooting started, is not a suspect, there's still one person out there, and so none of these police officers are going to move.
Right, and so, yeah, and remember, no one said this man was a suspect or that he was in any way involved in the shooting. We do have open carry in Texas all day long, and no one has said anything disparaging towards him, untoward towards him, police or anyone else, other than they've identified him as a person of interest. It's highly likely, Steve, if I'm identified as a person of interest and I am not engaged in this affair and I know they're looking for me, I'm going to walk in and say, hey, look, I'm not that guy. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But they did tell us 2 suspects. To this moment, we know 1 suspect's in custody.
1 suspect. And that's the one who engaged with SWAT officers and exchanged gunfire, according to police.
And that suspect, Sean, is that the one where the suspicious package
that is correct.
Was located?
That is correct.
Any more information about what that looked like or what it is, or do we have a determination yet?
I have nothing. I have no indication at all what that looked like. It could be a backpack. It could be a box of some sort. We just don't know. And my guys are kind of, I guess, busy at the moment. They're not getting back at me.
Of course, your reporting has been very good tonight, Sean, and we're going to let you continue to do that. Right now, we're going to go to Alex Boyer on the scene. Alex?
Yeah, Clarice, in the distance there, you may be able to see they're disappearing around the corner. We just saw a cluster of about 5 or 6 U.S. Marshals just make their way over into this area. They went under the police line here and here at Murphy and Main, and they were quickly greeted by Dallas police officers who obviously wanted to make sure that they should be here. Then they, again, just kind of disappeared around the corner. Again, 5 or 6 armed and uniformed U.S. Marshals. And I want to bring in Alyssa Vasquez, who has been here throughout the night. I know that you live in one of the high rises and you were watching the march going on today. Tell me about what you saw earlier, and remember we're live, so keep in mind.
Okay. Yes, I live right down the street right here on the 15th floor, and I saw it right when it happened. And
you're talking about people marching by.
People marching, right. And so when I looked outside, I could hear people saying, F the police. And there were officers on their motorcycles and their bikes trying to maneuver their way around them. And you could see people taunting the officers. So I don't think anybody has actually mentioned that, but that's actually happened throughout. People were walking by and kind of getting in the officer's face when he was clearly just trying to just drive by, mind his own business. And the police officers were actually at a distance, the cop cars. So they weren't trying to harm anybody or anything. And then that's whenever I heard the gunshots and I just saw everybody scatter.
So you bring an interesting perspective, Ms. Vasquez. You say that you were on your balcony. We've heard from several people saying that they were going around, that this was a peaceful protest. I myself saw the peaceful part of it while we were here at the park, but you're saying that from your balcony that you did see several people saying F the police and then kind of taunting some of the officers who were kind of blocking the road so that people could safely march through the streets.
That's correct. I mean, I'm not gonna say it wasn't peaceful, because majority of the people were just minding their own business and just walking through. But I think people are kind of forgetting that, there are a percentage of them that are taunting the officers and are trying to, cause a disturbance whenever they're just trying to mind their own business. So.
You were here with me when there was a man who was wearing a flat jacket who was taken down, and then police just took him away a short time ago. What were your thoughts on it? I know that I saw you engage with another guy, kind of differing opinions on how that was handled. What was kind of your thought process watching it?
That's correct. Well, the man, he was wearing a bulletproof vest and a gas mask, and he was sitting behind a pillar, minding his own business, and the police officers were more focused on this area because this is a crime scene, this is the yellow tape. Well, the man started getting around him, talking, because he'd been sitting there for a while, and that's when the officers actually noticed him and they told him to come forward. And he did, he just had his hands up, so it was nothing wrong. But the thing is that me and a man were having a conversation. They were yelling and cussing and screaming at the officers, but I was like, if that was me, the guy's wearing a bulletproof vest and a gas mask, there's 4 officers killed, I'm going to take precaution. And yeah, the guy looks suspicious, so they're just bringing him in. They're trying to make sure that, they're not going to get shot. So,
well, Eliza Vasquez, thank you so much for your perspective tonight. I think we're going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Alex Boyer, nice interview. Thank you. We have been checking in with Lynn Ann Wynn. She's at Baylor Hospital. We're going to transition to. I know.
Thank you.
Let me finish speaking. People yelling in my ear. We've been talking with Lynn Ann Wynn at Baylor. We're going to transition to the other hospital where where people have been taken. That's Parkland Hospital. Some of the officers shot and wounded. Brandon, what have you observed there? What do you know is happening inside?
Well, Steve, we do know that at least one Dallas police officer was brought here to Parkland. We don't know how many total have been treated here tonight. We did have a representative from Parkland coming out earlier to tell us that they were not going to be making any statements tonight. Back behind me, you see hospital security there posted up right here near the entrance to the emergency room. On over to our left, which is behind this fence here, kind of hard to see, but there is a heavy Dallas police presence back behind that fence. Several officers can be seen, or we have watched them over the last hour or so, walking around the outside of that emergency room entrance there. Some of them wearing bulletproof vests on the outside of their clothes, polo shirts, what have you. But this isn't the only area. There are several other officers that I've observed around the other side of the hospital as well. Ambulances from Dallas Fire Rescue coming in and out of Parkland. Unclear as to whether those are involved in the shooting. As the one of the representatives from Parkland said, their operations are moving along as normal. They are still accepting other patients as well. So without a lot of information being dispersed tonight here from Parkland, we are seeing a lot of outpouring of support from other departments, other police departments across North Texas. We've seen vehicles here from Irving Police Department. Kevin Staples, my photographer, zoomed in earlier and saw an Arlington police marked unit here. And just a short time ago, Rick Van Houten, the president of Fort Worth Police Officers Association, texted me a statement saying, "Fort Worth Police stand with our brothers and sisters in Dallas. When one officer bleeds, we all bleed. Fort Worth Police will prepare ourselves for the protests in our community and simultaneously extend our assistance to Dallas." So Steve and Heather, clearly the pain from all of this extending beyond just one department here in North Texas.
Well, it's nationwide, Brandon. Everybody's talking about what's happened in North Texas tonight, clearly. Early in the evening, James Rose was at Dallas City Hall. That's where the news conference happened. And James is near there again and can update us on what his perspective is on what he saw. I'm really curious to know about the chief's passion and he is very into this search tonight for the people responsible. Go ahead, James.
Right, Steve. Very dark and disturbing day here in Dallas. That's perhaps the understatement of the year, but I can tell you that Chief David O. Brown came out here. He was very determined to get the information out and get back in the command post. He told us the most immediate thing that we're working on right now was to try and negotiate with one of the snipers they believe they have holed up in one of those parking garages. And the way he described it, Steve, it was like a military-style ambush from two different trajectories firing on officers, many of them shot in the back. And again, the breakdown on that, he told us, is 11 officers shot. 2 of the 3 deceased, 2 of those are DPD, 1 is DART. And then there was another DART officer that was wounded along with 6 other DPD officers wounded. And I can tell you 1 civilian out of all of that was wounded. And when you think about that kind of gunfire into a crowd of 800 people, we were told there were about 100 officers that were around the perimeter at the time all this went down. Another disturbing thing he released tonight was talking about the fact that they had gotten word there may be some kind of explosive device planted in and around the downtown area. We saw a lot of FBI agents come in, and they're apparently working that angle to make sure everything's safe and clear in the streets of downtown Dallas. I can tell you he did release those pictures. He made it very clear this person is a person of interest, and he said if anyone knows who this person is, do not approach, do not call, simply call 911. So great urgency here at City Hall inside the command post. We're told they'll be briefing us again shortly. As you can see, we have a podium set up now. And the way this went down, when he came out, a lot of people weren't even here. And they just wanted to get as much information out as quickly as they could. So we'll keep you up to date with the absolute latest. Steve, back to you.
James, and just to update now, we do have the updated sad total. 4 officers were killed tonight in downtown Dallas.
Okay.
James, thank you. I have a statement that I was just handed that I want to read. Steve, you had actually brought this up.
We're going to go to Deanna Zoga next, but go ahead. Yeah,
I just want to get this out. This is from the Next Generation Action Network. the group that organized this peaceful protest to address community concerns. I'm reading now their statement, to address community concerns regarding 2 recent police-involved shootings. Next Generation Action Network, nor its president, Minister Dominique Alexander, they say they do not condone violence in
Some eyewitnesses say came from a parking garage literally on the other side of the street from the Bank of America building, that giant green skyscraper here in the heart of downtown Dallas. The parking garage just on the other side of Main, where some of these eyewitnesses, Shepard, say the gunshots came from tonight.
And sports figures, Hollywood figures, politicians, other police departments, police. This is going to be a unifying thing to get behind police, I think. And I've seen some of the actions downtown, some of the protesters. I still don't think they understand the gravity of what has happened when they've been kind of confronting police officers. I don't think they get it. And this is going to change. It's going to change a lot of perceptions, what happened in Dallas tonight.
We heard Mayor Rawlings during the news conference tonight say that the number one focus needs to be people concerned for the police officers who lost their lives tonight, the police officers who are fighting for their lives right now, and also the concern for the families of the police officers. And the mayor is urging that Dallas come together as a city to be able to support the Dallas Police Department on this very tragic night. Let's go now live to Deanna Zoga.
Hi, Clarice. We're giving you a live picture right now. This is El Centro College. You heard earlier Police Chief David Brown say that police did have one suspect or one person that they believe to be one of these snipers cornered at the college. I believe I heard him say a parking garage on the second floor. So what we've seen slowly but surely here over the last 45 minutes or so are police closing this perimeter around El Centro. Earlier, police officers were a little closer to where I'm standing. They've moved a little closer in, moving toward the south and toward the east. We also have seen a couple of Dallas police armored units go in a little over an hour ago, and then just within the hour, just recently here, we have seen some federal. It looked like federal agents moving in as well in their tactical units. We heard Chief Brown say that they have asked for help from the feds because they were concerned that there might be a bomb planted in this area. Again, that we're pointing towards right now. So we are seeing police gathered around. We're not going to zoom in too tightly where anyone would be able to give away their positions, but we're just going to give you the big picture and let you know what's happening right now. So still a lot of police activity downtown. We heard Dallas police say that they have not yet caught the suspects. They're possibly talking to a person of interest, a man in a photo who came forward, a photo that they released earlier, who came forward to talk to police. And then police have told us again that they have one person that they believe is cornered at El Centro. We are just a couple blocks away watching this unfold. Of course, we'll continue to bring you any updates as we get them. Back to you guys in studio.
Okay, Deanna, let's rejoin Sean and Chief Miller with a video timeline of the tragedy that happened tonight in downtown Dallas.
Okay, Chief Craig Miller is going to come in now. We're going to go back to just a little bit before 9 o'clock, between 8:45 and 9 o'clock this evening. The crowd had grown to several hundred, maybe 1,000, perhaps a little more. And then this all started. The shooting started just before 9 o'clock. Chief, let's look at this video. We see this video.
All right, everybody. We are now live right now in the Fox 10 News Now studio. I'm joined by the one and only Marcy Jones. And Marcy, what a day this has been. Just a horrible day when you think about it, when police officers, men and women, just being ambushed.
Doing their job.
Just doing their job. There was a peaceful protest at the time, and then all of a sudden, shots ring out, and it's
chaos.
Like, it's just
chaos. And if you watch the video, it looks like ants scattering.
It does.
Of course, when you hear, some witnesses were saying 50 shots ringing out.
Yep.
You have no idea where it's coming from. It's coming, above you, but you don't know that in a moment. And it's so sad, and you can tell that there's so much fear on both sides.
Yes.
Yes. And we don't want
Absolutely.
to make a line in the sand. We don't want to make it this versus this. But for a lot of people, that's what it feels like. And there's so much fear, and I feel like something like this, even though it's coming out of anger, upset, miscommunication, clearly.
Yep.
You know, totally condemning these acts, but it's going to escalate the entire situation. It's a vicious circle, and it's festering.
Oh, I know. And when you think about it, just 5 to 10 years ago, when you would think about a story like this, you would be like, oh, that's in another country.
Yes.
Now it's like 50 gunshots, and this seems like a third world country. You know what I mean?
I know. And, I can't think of a time that I was alive when more than 3 officers were shot at or 3 officers were down.
Yes.
To hear 11 officers, 4 dead, several in surgeries, I mean, it's horrific.
It is. I mean, this is a day that will go down as probably the worst attacks on police officers. I mean, because they were just really, if you think about it, like pretty much cornered if they're getting shot from elevated positions.
I know. And I think, unfortunately, I think the way things are moving, the way attacks are moving, random places that you wouldn't expect, schools aren't safe, movie theaters aren't safe, in regards to certain aspects, but they were condensed. This was a trap. I mean, they knew that they were going to be out here. They knew that they had to be out here to keep the peace, just doing their job. And this is an easy way for them to pick them off. They were ambushed.
Absolutely. And folks, we know you want to chime in and let us know what your thoughts and feelings are. So we want this to be really social. Hit us up on Twitter, Marcy Jones Fox 10, Mike Page Fox 10. We are
join the conversation.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what a lot of people were saying today. I went to a Black Lives Matter. It was just a conference, very peaceful at a church. They just said, we got to start a dialogue.
Sure,
because we're tired of having the generational conversation. It starts around 12, 13 years old with their kids. They say you never talk back. You always look them in the eye. When you get stopped or pulled over, anything like that. They said we don't want to fear them. We want to be on the same side.
Sure.
And clearly, with some bad apples on both sides, things get escalated, and it's bad for everyone. It's terrible.
This has been just a terrible, terrible week for news. I mean, it's just been, and you know what, sadly, like you've been saying, it's been leading up to that. You know what I mean?
It's been festering. It's been bubbling
You're right.
up.
You're right.
Both sides are scared. They're fearing for their lives. The police don't know what to do. I think, the black community has been fed up for a long time, and it's totally coming to head right now. And we need to have a conversation on how to move things forward.
Yes.
How to continue to grow and understand both sides. Because if this keeps happening, I don't even know where it ends.
Oh, I don't even want to think about what's going on, because you think about 11 officers, and
11 officers.
And isn't it amazing though that they were all officers, that like not a random person got caught too.
It looked so intermingled that I'm
Yeah.
shocked, and maybe it'll come out.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else did get hurt that was just a civilian, but. Unless it was one of those police lines, how they make those kind of like horseshoes around the crowd that they could but 11. And we don't even know if that's where the actual number is.
I know, because it could get higher, unfortunately, throughout the morning as we get into the midnight hours here.
Initial reports are always very fragmented.
Oh, yeah.
You never really get the full story until later. Hopefully this is an exaggerated number, but I don't think so. I don't think it is.
No.
This is coming from Dallas Police Office.
No, and I know you got to go run for your next hit there in the studio, but
this is what everybody should be doing.
Yes.
Everybody should be talking.
Absolutely.
About it. We shouldn't be afraid to have these discussions.
No.
Sometimes racial discussions are very uncomfortable to have, but you have to have them in order to move the dialogue forward.
You're right, and you know what? I think probably the worst thing, I hate to say it, but I think the worst thing is social media that kind of just brings out the worst of it, gets everyone riled up for the wrong reasons.
And then retweets, it spreads.
It spreads like a virus, and then stuff like this happens when two nuts want to get out there. I can't believe that someone would go on like a rooftop or something and just say, you know what, I'm going to start clipping these officers.
And this had to have been planned.
Oh, absolutely.
In what, hours maybe?
Yeah.
Because this whole protest wasn't even a thing until a couple of days ago. So, the amount of thought that went into it obviously was very little.
Yeah.
And they still got 11. It's terrible.
It's very, very
devastating.
terrible.
Our thoughts and our prayers are obviously going out to everybody in Dallas and really around the country.
Around the country, because it's hitting a nerve with everybody.
Absolutely.
And Marcy, I know you got to go, but thank you so much.
But let's continue the conversation.
Yes, in a great way.
Yes, absolutely.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
A peaceful event, and it turns out that they were the ones who were harmed in all this.
Yes, it is now 3 hours into this nightmare in Dallas, Elm Street, Main Street, downtown Dallas corridor.
Well, and I can promise you, I cannot put into words for anyone who's lost a loved one can understand the gravity of finding out that you've lost a loved one. In the police family, there are both husbands and wives tonight who are just finding out that their loved one, the father or the mother of their children, are not going to be coming home. And when they left house today, that wasn't their plan. Their plan was to go and safely help and protect the people here in the city of Dallas. And tonight, they're going to leave widows and children without parents. And it is unbelievably difficult, having been at a situation where I've notified officers, family members of their deaths. I cannot put into word the sadness, the frustration, the anger that people, family members and men and women in blue will be experiencing over this.
Chief, I can recall a couple of incidents over 26 years reporting in Dallas where we've had 3 officers shot in an episode. You'll recall back in the 90s down in the Mickey Mantle's home down there in southern Dallas County, and then you'll recall the apartment complex in southwest Dallas about 10 years or so ago. The sheer number, when you hear 11 officers, Dallas officers, 7, I believe, 4 DART officers, I believe, in total, and to have 4 dead at one time. I don't recall these kinds of numbers in the 26 years I've been reporting on this station in Dallas.
No, it's never going to have happened in the more than 100 years in the history of the city of Dallas. And I think you raised a good comment there, Sean. These are Dallas officers, but they're also DART officers. And we don't know if there are other officers from other agencies that are represented in this. We just don't know that for sure. And the fact is that these are officers whose job is to help and protect the citizens of our community, and that's what they were doing. And while performing their job, some of them were shot in the back by someone from a hidden location, maybe from an elevated position where there's no way they could possibly have known what was coming and what was going to happen to them.
Right. And again, we say with certainty, those who came to protest, as the First Amendment gives us right to do in this great country, were not involved in what we saw here. These folk came with a plan to carry out an act of violence against the police.
No, absolutely. These are knuckleheads. These are people that came into this with the expressed intent of hurting people. This was a peaceful event where people were coming to in our country, the ability to protest and to rally and to speak your mind. It is not wrong and it's not inappropriate. And the police were there, aware of that, and they were trying to protect those people. But rather than protecting those people from being harmed, it was the police officers that actually became the victims in this case. And we can't tolerate that as a country. We cannot tolerate this happening to police officers or anyone for that matter. No one should be shot in the back from an elevated position. But people who are in a position to serve and protect our most precious commodities should not be taken advantage of this way. And we cannot tolerate this as a country.
And I think we are looking at Steve, this is going to be recorded video that we're looking at now.
Yeah, this is recorded. We're going to go to Sky 4. I want to tell you something, Sean. Yeah, we want Craig Miller to continue this conversation, but just tweeted by the Dallas Police Department that in the downtown area, an officer observed an individual carrying a camouflaged bag walking quickly down Lamar Street. The individual threw the bag in the back of a black Mercedes, and the Mercedes sped off at a high rate of speed. That is from Sky 4. That is the traffic stop when officers followed the vehicle south on I-35E and performed a traffic stop. I would say it was a high-risk traffic stop, and this is at I-35E and Keast.
And I believe 2 people, Steve, were taken into custody.
2 occupants in the vehicle being questioned. They are in custody.
2 people at least. Now, we don't know what the extent of that custody is going to look like, but 2 people were in that Mercedes heading south on Interstate 35. Again, you said at Keast, is that correct, sir?
Keast, yes, I-35E and Keast.
And so we want to find out, we certainly want to find out what's in that bag. If he's tossing it around, it's not an incendiary device, but it certainly could be ammunition.
Yeah, or weapons.
Or weapons.
Yeah,
Because
anybody downtown.
There is going to be a huge amount of physical evidence associated with this incident. And that physical evidence is what's going to connect people to what took place here. And whether a person these police officers were shot with 9mm ammunition, 40 caliber ammunition, 357 ammunition, those shell casings will be there. And what the police need to find is they need to be able to link up weapons that are associated with that. And if the people that are being stopped are in possession of weapons, or if they toss something, and those weapons can be matched forensically back to the evidence that
All right, folks, having a little technical difficulty there, as you can see, but we are live right now on the Fox 10 News Now stream, part of fox10phoenix.com. We do appreciate you guys all being part of this breaking news situation. Obviously, a very hard day for all of us here in the newsroom, and really, you could feel that across the country right now as everyone is reeling from this police ambush in Dallas, Texas this evening. Horrible, horrible news that we had to report on today. A very, very hard situation for all. And I know a lot of you that have been watching have shared the same heavy hearts as I have had tonight. It's something that we never, ever wanted to report on, but unfortunately, we had to go out here and just do our job, our journalistic duties to provide you with the facts. And, you know, it's just a very fluid situation, as you can imagine, so we thank you for sometimes dealing with our technical difficulties as well. But I'm glad to be here with you, your host on the Fox 10 News Now stream this evening. I do want to leave you with this before we do part ways this evening. Police officers do their jobs every day. The men and women go out there to the streets to protect us every day. They kiss their loved ones goodbye, hoping, because they don't know if they will be coming back that night. Comes with the job, right? They don't know. It's not guaranteed. It's not like they're a baker, you know, or a different job like that. Not like they're a car salesman. It's not guaranteed. Nothing in life is guaranteed, but for police officers, dealing with people that do not like you, dealing with people that are sometimes on drugs or alcohol that want to do harm to you, you gotta, at the end of the day, give all the respect to these officers who every day go out there and put their lives on the line for us. And tonight we just did see the sad, sad times that we do live in, where police do get ambushed. They do get attacked. And tonight, unfortunately, as of right now, we have to report that 4 brave souls did pass away on the line of duty. It breaks our heart to say that, to talk about that. It's a sad day in America when we have to say 4 of our own died just trying to protect us during a peaceful rally at the time, and then all hell breaks loose. I wish everyone the best out there tonight as we deal with this very, very tragic loss in Dallas. A huge ambush. Police officers murdered in the line of duty. I do want you to let you know, though, life does go on. We are Americans. We always rally together during these hard, difficult times, and I know that we will no doubt do it again. To everyone watching, thank you so much for being part of the Fox 10 News Now stream, part of fox10phoenix.com. My name is Mike Page. I want you to have a good night. I want you to have a safe night. And if you have loved ones around you tonight, tell them how much you love them. Good night, everybody.